Hello, hello, and welcome everyone to Style Esports. We got a banger match coming at you on this Friday night. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the games and the draft, quick rundown of what we're looking at. Shadow Mustangs Unleashed versus XFlow, formerly known as Flow Esports. They've gone through a little bit of a rebranding, but in Demacia group in week 2, Style Esports looking to duke it out on the end of the week. I'm Necrox, your play-by-play caster for the night. Joining me on the desk is Axeman87. How you doing?
Doing just fine, Necrox. Appreciate the intro. What's up, guys? Axeman87. And yes, we are back at it again in the Demacia group. And these are two pretty good teams here. I know XFlow had a pretty dominant season in Season 4. So moving into Season 5, I'm expecting big things from them. We're already into the pro draft here, as you'll see on your screen. And a couple bans are out all ready to start off our night. Now, this game ranges from high gold to about mid-diamond. So a lot of different skill levels represented here, and that's reflected in the bans. You have big champions and the high elos taken away, like Azir, the Caitlyn, and also some lower ones. You got the Gragas taken out of there, the Zyra, and these aren't fantastic champions, but in the right hands, they can be fairly potent.
Yeah, like Malzahar, right? The infamous press R, don't let you play the game for a couple seconds style champion. And then we got big champions like Azir being banned away. First pick for Shadow Mustangs Unleashed, though, the B1 Nunu. It is instantly responded by XFlow with the Shen and the Ashe.
I gotta tell you, Necrox, I haven't seen River Shen yet. I know it's been happening a couple of places in Pro and in the higher elos too. I haven't had the privilege of seeing it, so I would be excited if that's what we're seeing here tonight. Now, I don't think that's what's happening, of course. I don't think anyone really expects River Shen, but oh man, that would be quite the treat to watch. Shadow Mustangs locking in a power bot lane here, or at least it was several patches ago. It's the Kog'Maw Lulu. Not sure how powerful that is on 10. What are we up to? 19? Something like that. But we're about to find out here, Necrox.
Yeah, we'll see if that Kog'Maw Lulu link comes through, whether this is, Ashe and then a different support in the bot lane. See if we can get a more mage-oriented style champion. Of course, the Zyra is banned away, so we're not going to be able to get that this time. But yeah, this River Shen idea has been floating around for quite a while, and it's so flexible, right? Not only the champion and his playstyle, you can play Peel, you can play Engage, you can play Tank, you can play Bruiser. There's so many ways to play the champ. He can also just flex between lanes. He can be support, he can be jungle, he can be top lane. So the champion is just so good right now. There's so many ways to use him. So that's why I like to see it so early on in the draft from XFlow. And you can see they're sort of keeping the dynamic of the question marks above their draft because we don't know where these picks are going. Both lanes can be flexed. Even, of course, Shen going into the jungle is always an option. As the final bans come through, maybe we'll get some sort of knowledge about where this draft is headed.
Absolutely. Last couple of bans coming out. The Vanguard taken away from Merlin, the mid lane. That's a bit of a power pick for him. And not more so than the Malzahar, so a little bit of mid lane focus there. The Gragas, this is lovely at Ewok, actually, in the top lane. We see Ewok play a lot of Gragas. It's kind of a pocket pick for him. It's not something he'll necessarily default to. That's more of the Mordekaiser, which is banned away also by XFlow. But, every once in a while he pulls out the Gragas top and just dumpsters some poor kid. So They're not going to let him have that one. Shyvana banned away here. We'll see if that was a mistake. We'll look in the client. Nobody has said so yet, so I guess that's an actual Shyvana ban. What do you think about this, Necrox?
Yeah, that's an interesting ban, right? I mean, that screams to me comfort pick. We don't want them on this AP style champ. I mean, Akali's already locked in, plus a little bit of AP Shen does already, so I'm not really sure why we're looking at more AP bans. Of course, as they say that, though, we're going to get another AP champion. XFlow lock in the Karma. To me, this is Karma Ashe bot lane. Very abusive, has a lot of poke potential, has a lot of safety as well. So we'll see, which of these two lanes are actually more dominant. They both are looking for that dominant style lane. Annie and Skarner instantly locked in. The big Scorpion is here.
That's so much fun. It's going to be Ewok on Skarner top, I would say. I mean, I'm sure there's some people at least who disagree with me, but this is right up Ewok's alley, playing those weird top laners and having success on them. So it is looking to be Shen top as Hecarim's locked in for XFlow. That would make sense to me anyway, but hey, these guys are higher elo than me. What do I know?
I can
Yeah,
make
and
sure
I
that
like this draft from
everyone
XFlow so far, Axfan. We're getting this dive style comp. This is so exciting. You put Hecarim with that speed from the Karma, you speed him up, he dives into the team, following up on an Ash Arrow, and then all of a sudden, Akali and Shen are there on top, and you're like, what the heck's going on? Kog'Maw doesn't have time to stay alive. You're hoping that your Lulu will be able to put that wild growth onto your Kog'Maw to keep him alive. But if Skarner's not playing on top, if Andy's not playing on top, then all of a sudden, you have so much engaged potential from XFlow. I'm really excited to see how their draft plays out. And it's going to all be about this CC lock from Shadow Mustangs. Can they keep these carries away from their Kog'Maw?
So Necrox, Hecarim is a fantastic jungler. I think he's basically unmatched right now, unless they shadow nerfed him in the patch, and I didn't read it or something like that. But I would say that Nunu is one of the better champions to be able to deal with him, and here's why. There's a certain style that some Nunu players play, and I think it's the best, and I call it the Nunu roll. It's basically when you're walking through the jungle, right? You're a support style jungler with tons of lockdown potential, tons of support potential. Most junglers that play that style will see a gank opportunity, and they can't go for it because they just don't have the movement speed. They don't have the global pressure. They wouldn't arrive in time, so they have to, keep clearing camps. They get a little bit closer, and then maybe they can go for it. Not Nunu. Nunu just starts up the snowball, and he's there in the blink of an eye, right? And that style of jungling, that kind of, I'm just going to keep power farming until something happens, then I'm going to arrive just in the nick of time. He's incredibly effective against Hecarim because he's trying to do essentially the same thing, but Nunu's going to be able to farm harder than Hecarim can. So eventually, if both these junglers continue to go even and Hecarim doesn't get a good 1v1, which is also difficult against Nunu, Nunu will just start to, outscale him a little bit, have more successful ganks. He's going to arrive a little bit faster or be healthier when he does arrive. He also has a ton more objective control than Hecarim does in a straight-up 50-50 smite battle. So I'm really liking the Nunu pick. I'm not sure why they R5'd Hecarim into it, other than just the prestige of the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, Hecarim is a strong pick, so maybe, they just needed that strong pick to round out their comp. But I think I agree with you. The Nunu can have a little more pressure over the map as we do hop out of that client select for now. But I do want to talk a little about Annie and Skarner here from Shadow Mustangs Unleashed. This hard CC that they lock in on this blue side tells me they want to keep these carries away from Kog'Maw and rely more so on that backline damage instead of, playing this crazy dive style with Nunu, so on and so forth. They're going to, throw down Tivers. They're going to use that Skarner Pierce, use that ultimate on Skarner in order just to, keep things away and allow Kog'Maw to free fire from the back line. I just don't know if you can do that because Hecarim goes unstoppable. So it's going to be hard for them to accomplish. I'm curious your thoughts, though, about this heavy CC that Shadow Mustangs has picked up on the back.
So something that's characteristic of SMU and always has been is that they love playing older champions. We'll see Ewok and stuff like, the Skarner, the Gragas, but also just older champions. And I'm going to say Mordekaiser. I know he got reworked, but he played Mordekaiser before the rework too, so, whatever. And a lot of it is because they have simpler win conditions, like all the way down to the micro level. I mean, Annie's going to flash ult you. That's like all of Annie. Like, you should point and click stun. Everything's super simple. Now, stuff like, maintaining and making sure you're managing the stun well, that's a little bit more difficult. But mechanically, they're very simple champions. And that goes, through basically their entire roster. That's not to say this is a bad team. They execute on those win conditions so well when they work synergistically. And that's something that I think, rolls right into what you were talking about with the solid CC. It's a very simple win condition. Lock down the carries and deal tons of damage to them. So I think that kind of plays into why they went for this comp, is it just kind of fits their style, even if it is some champions that they don't normally play.
And that makes sense to me as well, Axe. I mean, we're talking about how they want to slow things down, make it a little simpler. And if you look at last season, they ended up 6-7, 46% win rate. They didn't finish where I assume they would want to, so they're looking to, take things slow this time around to make sure they get the fundamentals down first, like you were talking about, and then sort of ramp up to look at, more aggressive, more skill-intensive champions. So I like to see that they're doing that here. I think I absolutely agree. Pitch perfect analysis. Overall, though, I think we're looking at, front to back versus dive, and I think that always presents a little chaotic nonsense that SMU is going to have to deal with. But again, I think point and click CC does that pretty well. I don't know about the Skarner top. Ewok, apparently that's his play style, so we'll see if Skarner, Gragas, style champions can match up into the Shen. I don't know particularly what Skarner top does. You'll have to take the lead on that one, Axe.
So I'm not 100% what Skarner top does either. I would say basically what you're looking for in this jungler is just being a support for jungle pressure, right? You're looking for a jungler that has tons of damage, brings tons of damage to the table, and then you're just looking to lock down the enemy jungler and make them an easier gank. So into things like, your Dariuses, your Maokais, the Skarner pick can be very effective because those champions are extremely bad at getting ganked. Like they're super easy to gank. If you're a jungler and you have any kind of lockdown, Skarner just kind of seals the deal. Like it doesn't matter if Darius has Ghost anymore or Maokai has Nature's Grasp, they're just not going to be able to move. So into a Shen, I think how this matchup goes is that essentially just kind of cancels each other out a little bit. And if it doesn't super matter anyway. Both these champions are normally just like supplying utility to their teams with their ultimate abilities, so it's not super important how ahead either of them get. I think if Shen wins the lane, it's a little bit more impactful because your utility is teleporting to your team, and if you arrive there and you're an 18-1 Shen, it's a lot better than if you're like 0-18. But I don't think it's going to be a super big issue. I think this lane goes fairly even, but for jungle intervention and kind of like the top lanes we've seen in the start of the season, I don't think it's going to matter too much.
Okay, that's fair. The last thing I do want to talk about for this draft, before we do get into Champ Select with Game 1, we'll flip the scripts really quick. Let's talk about bot lane. Because when you pick Kog'Maw, it demands a lot of attention. Shadow Mustangs ban Caitlyn in the first phase. They say, we don't want it, we don't want to play it, but we also don't want you to have it. Remember, we are in the new patch, so it is nerfed. But they still want to ban it away. Then they pick Kog'Maw, B3, into this Ashe. I don't know. How are you feeling about Kog'Maw? I think it's certainly a strong pick if you can get to the point where he's strong, when he hits that 3.5 item power spike. But other than that, I don't know. Doesn't seem to be a power pick in the meta.
So Slick Drake and Green Ninjas play this a lot. They're fairly comfortable with it. I don't think it's going to have a lot of success here because Prey and Cobalt have locked in such an insane bot lane. Ashe Karma is so hard to deal with in the early game Necrox. You just get bursted down. You eat some kind of damage from Karma or a volley from Ashe or something, and then you just lose lane off of that. I don't know how Kog'Maw and Lulu are going to deal with this specifically, but it doesn't look good for them.
Yeah, I would have to tend to agree with you. Ashe and Karma provide a lot of early game pressure. We'll see if this draft ends up making a difference or its execution between Shadow Mustangs Unleashed and XFlow Esports. We'll be right back with game number 1 as we load up onto Summoner's Rift. Don't go anywhere. Okay, everyone, welcome back as we are loaded up onto Summoner's Rift. These teams have flying out of their gates, getting ready to draw their battle lines across the board. Health potions stocked up, starting items stocked up, even a little cheeky control ward sitting in the pocket of Wokian. But nothing too crazy going on. Game 1 between Shadow Mustangs Unleashed and XFlow Esports in Demacia Group Week 2 style esports. All the introductions have been gone through. Last one, I'm still Necrox. Still joining me, Axeman87. I know we're both excited for this game to get underway. See, Crystal is procced 15 gold already. Looking good.
Game's practically over at this rate, Necrox. A lot of gold in the pocket. The Cobalt right there. I don't know how SMU are going to recover from that one, but we'll have to see if they can make the comeback here at 1:30. It is both junglers starting the top side. One is getting a leash. The other is not. Nunu stays pretty healthy in these clears. We already talked about that a little bit, and that would be the advantage over Hecarim. I didn't mean to make it seem like Nunu is like a Hecarim counter or anything. I don't necessarily think that's true, but it's not as over as it normally is with the Hecarim pick here. I think Wokian might have something.
Yeah, I mean, there may be something here we'll see, and this was the counter pick, so there's probably something that they're aware of, whether we're aware of it or not. A couple more trades go down onto the bot side. We get to see Kog'Maw use that extended range. Thank you to that Bio Arcane Barrage. Pretty important cooldown for him. But his health bars are reduced down here on the bot side. That trading is continued to expect. We were talking about just how heavy the trading can be between these two sides. We can see the power of both of these lanes. Man, wow. Oh man, the trading is so heavy down on this bot side.
Yeah, and the lower cooldown on the shield there from Green Ninjas is allowing them to trade more often than the Karma can really keep up with. Also, you kind of have to decide if you're going to go for more damage or more shielding with Karma, because if you go for both in these trades, sure, you'll probably win them, but you'll run out of mana incredibly fast, so there's only so many trades you'll be able to win that way. So it is Cobalt kind of reserving their mana at the moment, and, you know, even at the end of the day, they've still got lower mana than Green Ninjas does. The Lulu shield is essentially free.
Yeah, the Lulu shield is absolutely great. Same with the Karma shield, we'll see. How that mana preservation goes down, but the heal comes out early, gonna be knocked up anyway. Wokian on the Nunu, forces the flash. Cobalt's gonna be rooted if he doesn't. Flashes to safety, now the slows are in, goes proc for the Hecarim, instantly exhausted. Heal flash away, Green Ninja's trying to get himself to safety. Slick Drake burns one summoner to get his support away. All in all, summoners traded, but junglers already intervening here on the bot side.
Yeah, all but one summoner traded on both sides here. The summoner for Cobalt is Ignite. The summoner for SMU is Slick Drake's Flash, arguably the most important summoner in this bot lane for either side. So I think SMU comes out on top in this situation. I would accept any arguments to the contrary. Healthy anymore, and eating just a couple skill shots from the enemy bot lane would take them down. So we'll see how this plays out. I think Slick Drake probably gets a kill there. I mean, XFW are stepping up very far.
That ball. Yeah, here comes the Nunu ball over the top. It's going to lock up Prey. No, flash away. First blood to the Kog'Maw. Can they get Cobalt on the back end? Wokian going low, ignited, going to go down. The auto attack through will be traded back. Double kill to the Kog'Maw. Not worth. Axeman, not worth.
No, I mean, it's good you trade back the kill. That's solid, but I don't know, man. Early double kill in Kog'Maw, it doesn't seem worth to me at all, but it will be Rainy up in the top side on the Hecarim, looking to trade back some of those camps for Nunu's Arrogance. Getting a little bit of value out of it, but there's only so much you could do to counter jungle a Nunu. In fact, Wokian's already arrived. Might see a fight here.
Maybe we'll see, but I think Rainy will be happy giving that Gromp back. Doesn't want to get too gritty here, but in comes Lemon under the tower, goes forward. Where's the taunt? Not able to be used just quite yet. Wokian getting aftershock. Won't take too much damage. The wave is crashing. Look at all those casters lined up.
Yeah.
Even the ward over the wall. No way Wokian gets this one. Smite secured by Rainy. Good job, and they'll exit their way out of the jungle.
Definitely. I don't know if you saw on the mini-map there, but the rotation from Rue was a little scary, to be honest. He was in the jungle already. just right at the start of that play. So I think if SMU had gone for that fight, it would have been a 2v3, and they almost certainly would have lost with Lemon having a level lead over Ewok there. But good on them to recognize that they could not take that fight. It's going to be interesting, though. We talked about this top lane dynamic between these two top laners, and we kind of just witnessed it play out in real time there. Lemon just always has priority. It doesn't really matter if Ewok is closer, because Ewok and Woking combined can't necessarily kill Hecarim. God, that is so much damage. What is happening? There's no way!
What? Axeman, we just witnessed murder in broad daylight. The Kog'Maw just spat everything that he had out in Cobalt, finding himself back to the gray screen undeservedly.
That was a Karma Necrox.
Rude.
Oh my.
Takes some damage from Tibbers, gets himself away. Not too much damage, but what in the world? That bot lane 3-0 on Kog'Maw. Meanwhile, we were talking about the objective control that Nunu has. Secures Drake for SMU, but 3-1, and all those kills are stacked up onto this carry that is the Kog'Maw. That is unacceptable. And now they're going to look here again. Wokian throws the ball onto the bot side. Not too much danger, though. They'll walk themselves out this time, but man, so here's the question of the day. How does Kog'Maw not destroy this game if he's already doing that?
Right? I mean, how do they throw, essentially? I mean, I don't even think it's a question of how to XFlow make a comeback. I don't think you're outscaling Kog'Maw. I guess they're out CSing him, which is something, but 3 kills to none, that is just a massive lead. And I knew Slick Drake and Green Gingers were comfortable in this bot lane. I was not expecting this. This is wild. Like, that, just running down a Karma like that when they're level 4, they have all their abilities. Oh, Rue's dead, right?
No, he's
right. No, he's got a big wave. Yeah, okay. I think he has to back, though, so that is going to be a bit more CS back to Merlin. And CS is something that's been a little interesting across Summoner's Rift. It is almost, actually universally in favor of XFlow right now, by leaps and bounds, like a factor of like 10, 15 CS in every single role. So we can take a look, actually, in the overall goal. Yeah, the XFlow are actually ahead by a couple hundred, despite the kill difference and the dragon difference. That, hey, that's the microgame for you. I mean, if your last hitting minion's better, then you're just going to get more gold. It's already Hextech Revolver for Rue here, and that is a pretty solid power spike. Obviously, you're looking for Gunblade to really hit that big spike, but the Revolver in and of itself is pretty big. Now, I don't know if you noticed, Necrox, but up in the top lane, as soon as Ewok hit 6, he started winning trades, and that is... that's pretty spooky. I mean, for me, if I'm the Shen, I'm thinking, I'm supposed to be winning trades, like, no matter what here, right? Like, I hard win this lane. Ewok's not supposed to be out damaging me, but we'll see if maybe that Bammy Cinder Lemon picked up is going to help him at all. But I'd be eager to see the next 1v1, the next all-in up there in the top lane. Might be interesting. Rainy.
Yeah. Oh, the arrow misses. The onslaught of shadows forced to flash away, but here we go. The Stand United is in from Lyman. They shut down the Kog'Maw. What else can they get? Under tower, Prey goes low. Gonna be forced to heal. That passive from Kog'Maw does a lot of damage. That Decathlon surprise. Not gonna be able to take him out, but can they find the kill under tower? They'll call it off. But a great Stand United, great team play there from XFlow. They pick one right back up.
It really was, and that's really just understanding your win conditions, how your comp works, all that stuff. At the end of the day, they took enough damage as a team for 2 of them to die. So that's really the mark of a good dive, is juggling that damage, making sure you're taking in different spots so that nobody dies. XFlow does it perfectly here. I mean, between the Stand United, I think they used everybody's ult to make that play happen. But when you get a shutdown enemy Kog'Maw, who's previously 3-0, worth. Hey, man, we take those. But Wokian trying to get the Rift Herald here. Rue is going to put a stop to that and take the, what are these called? I don't know. We'll call it Crystal Shard or something. I don't know if that makes sense.
Something like that.
Something like that. But Rue over the wall. Wokian going to be able to consume Smite the Rift Herald down. So, yeah, and they're going to get the Crystal Shard back.
I have word now that it is Crystal Spires, so we can
Spires
that before Carl and
That's
chat.
Close.
Yeah, you are actually really close. The Rift Herald, though, does go over to Wokian. All said and done, that's not terrible for Wokian. Going to get a little bit more map pressure, a little bit more gold in their pockets due to that plating gold that can go down if they do decide to use it in time. But yeah, getting that shutdown under that tower dive is really, really big. Absolutely pitch perfect, right on. You know, understanding your win conditions, playing together as a team, using that stand united as it comes up. They make the play happen on the bot side, get the Kog'Maw. So critical. Both summoners down now for Slick Drake, so that may be a re-gank style target. You can see that Rainy is headed down here, but should just be looking for this scuttle, and then maybe looking for some vision control around Drake as it spawns in about 30 seconds.
Certainly, and this, at least with the... Oh, okay. Yeah,
okay.
wow, okay.
Tower, but interesting. Now that cooldown is not available for the Drake, Ewok no TP anyway. Double stun now onto Lemon. Lemon's still looking to trade back, but all right. There's going to be no Impale available. Ewok, you know, using that long tail of his, going to stun Lemon once again. That cannot be fun for Lemon, just constantly getting CC'd.
Definitely. He is winning these trades, though. This should be just dragging going down to XFlow. I don't think there's any opportunity for any kind of contest here. Woking is on Nunu, so there's always that potential, but he doesn't seem interested in moving towards it, and it's going to be down before he makes it there. So, unfortunate here. Well, he's looking. Oh, he flashed. Oh, my.
Woken, king of the jungle, steals it away. Onslaught of Shadow is going to take him away to safety. Woken's in a lot of trouble, though. Wild Growth can only do so much. Aftershock not able to pick up the rest. Rue has to get away over the wall with that perfect execution. Lemon puts the Stand United on top, which means he's going to lose quite a lot here. If he doesn't decide to commit that teleport, I'm sure he will. But the Drake stolen away by Woken means it's all worth at the end of the day.
It certainly is, and just the one champion, just yourself going down for it, makes it a lot more worth too, right? It's not like a big 5v5 sprawling team fight where everybody dies, but you get the drag. Ooh, Rue might be going down here. Yeah. No, Merlin getting a lot of solid damage off with these ults, but not quite being able to seal the deal. And he's still behind in CS, right? So essentially, it doesn't really matter until you convert, right? That's the biggest thing. Is eventually you got to actually get something out of these trades. He just hasn't done it yet, but Slick Drake taking a lot of damage all of a sudden. Those shield's only doing so much there.
Yeah, here comes Woken with the ball. We were talking about how Nunu likes to roll, but she's going to roll up into the bot side once more. Flash force away. Cobalt has flash, but doesn't opt to use it. Gonna go down. Slick Drake 4 and 1. Man, oh man, is this puppy angry.
Yeah, he's huge. Just massive. This is going to be Woken, or at least Green Ninjas, picking up like 3 control wards here. That's not an insignificant amount of gold either. I think, like, how much is that? I don't know, like 60 between 70, 2 of them?
70, no, 30 for one, right? So 90?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, 90 in total. He didn't end up getting the third one. Ooh, Rue eating a lot of damage there in the back end. But yeah, now Woken and Slick Drake, Green Ninjas, they're taking these plates, and there's only 30 seconds left to take them, so they won't be answered effectively. Actually, they dropped the Rift Herald now, too, so they're going to get this whole turret.
Yeah, or at least they'll get very close, right? The last plate's very hard to destroy. It is about half a plate left, so they won't actually get the whole thing. You know, that Bulwark, or I'm honestly not sure what that's called, but, you know, turrets get really hard as we get to see an Impale.
Oh, wow.
Lemon under tower. Where's the taunt? Not able to be coming out just quite yet. Ewok taking that trade, using the ultimate. Try to find Lemon under tower once again, but that's the second time we've seen that ultimate be used, trying to drag this Shen under tower, but to no avail.
It is like a positive trade for him normally, but you're right. It's kind of similar to the situation that Merlin's going through. Like, you can ult him. I think he ate 3 turret shots there, and that's good. He took more damage than Ewok did, but it was only by a little bit, and he also doesn't get the kill or any significant cooldown. So, is it a positive trade? Yes. Did you use a lot to get there? Also, yes. So I don't know if these are necessarily worth or if they're actually accomplishing anything, but he definitely is showing Lemon that he can ult him on cooldown and, you know, get him to eat 3 turret shots, which is something, I guess. Ult here onto Rue again.
Trouble. Perfect execution, but the backflip lands onto Tibbers, which means Merlin will walk away. But yeah, once again, that's been the story of this game, is these solo laners using their cooldowns, trying to find kills, but just coming up ever so slightly short. Thus, bot lane has been the action-packed center of the game. Kog'Maw 4 and 1. Talking about insignificant amount of golds, he is not holding an insignificant amount of gold. He is already more than 1,000 gold ahead of his counterpart. Prey on this Ashe, sitting about 4,300. while Kog'Maw, Slick Drake, holding about 58, but he might be holding a little less as he may be going back to the gray screen now. Hecarim comes in with the engage. Onslaught of Shadow is going to go forward. The Cathian Surprise won't do very much, as Slick Drake didn't seem to be piloting that one in exactly the correct fashion. But one kill onto the Kog'Maw is always something you want to see.
Definitely, and that's another Stand United down here in the bot lane. At this point, you got to be looking at that timer, because they're probably going to come down bot and try to get Slick Drake on cooldown for Stand United. They also get the turret. I mean, since the plating is falling, has fallen, the bulwark is down. It's super easy to take with 4 members there. Woking is going to trade back this Rift Herald. There's no one to contest, but between getting a whole turret and the Rift Herald, I think I'll take the whole turret. I mean, that just seems to be a better trade to me. That said, it's good he's taking this. You trade something back, and that's always a good thing. But yeah, you were making the point about how Slick Drake is doing just a lot better than Prey is. I think they're really 1,000 gold ahead. They're probably still doing fairly well after that play too. Yeah, I think it's down to like 850 or something now, so not a huge hit to that lead, but that really is enabling. Oh, here we go. It's a big gank in the mid lane.
Rue in the Shroud, gets away with a little bit of the speed, hops back into the root. What are you doing, Rue? You need to get away. Uses the perfect execution, trying to get himself away. Taunt to the Nunu's gonna cancel the ultimate. In a lot of trouble now. Merlin's the first to fall, didn't even have a chance to flash away. Wokian goes down as the second member of SMU to fall, and just like that, the engage is turned around by XFlow, and they head to Drake.
Certainly, and Slick Drake's down here. He's looking for the turret. He gets it. I think he dies here.
Here we go. Crystal Arrow in hand. Is Prey gonna send it forward? Gets the slow, makes it a little easier to land. Prey's in a lot of trouble though.
No.
Needs to get it through. There we go. There it is. Oh my goodness, Slick Drake, who are you? Still goes down in the end, but this man, almost Faker level execution from this Kog'Maw, flashing over the taunt from Lemon.
Yeah, I think greeting for the turret was probably a mistake there, but critically, once again, if XFlow don't send 4 there, they probably die. I don't think they win those, but as it stood, they did. They used ultimates to get the kill onto Slick Drake. That's what they needed to do, is to kill this Kog'Maw, and then the XFlow comes out on top to get the dragon too, right? Which is very big. That would have been soul point there for SMU. So denying that to them was huge. All in all, XFlow making a bit of a comeback. I don't actually think they've ever been behind in like global team gold, but we'll call it a comeback anyway, because that Kog'Maw was a huge threat. And yeah, as I was saying, it's really enabling the solo laners to play this style, that kind of like use your ult to continue to go even and have kill pressure all the time. Because if they were just doing that and they weren't outscaling with the Kog'Maw, they'd be losing, right? And eventually you atrophy between Annie and Skarner, and then you just can't really do anything. But because they have this huge late game scaling win condition in Slick Drake's Kog'Maw, now all of a sudden you're a Skarner and you're an Annie, and instead of being kind of lost in the void, you have this huge hyper carry to be able to support for. And I don't know if you know this, but Skarner and Annie are competent supports. They have a lot of CC. They have a lot of support potential between the two of them. If they have Kog'Maw to prop up, that's a very competent team comp. As it stands, I think they still do. I don't think like Slick Drake's out of the game or anything, and he's still ahead of Prey, and maybe that's all this will take here. But you got to be careful. You can't give up too many more of those.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll get to see the Rift Herald now into the mid lane. A lot of damage from that Mantra Q from Cobalt on the Karma. But this should be turret going down unless they want to pull the trigger. They are going to do it. Onslaught of Shadows goes forward. They're trying to find Green Ninjas, who does go down. Slick Drake going to be the second to fall. Cathian Surprise not going to be able to do very much. Wokian goes down. 3-0 so far. You need to get out of this. And Ewok, you are dead to rights, my friend. It is a clean ace for XFlow. Only 19.5 minutes into this one. Rift Herald, who? It is the tower going down for XFlow, a big mid-game teamfight win for them.
And going into this one, Necrox, he mentioned that it's kind of like a front-to-back team comp versus a dive comp, and I think that's really characterizes how these team fights have played out. It's basically just like XFlow gets onto Slick Drake way too fast. Slick Drake does so much damage to their entire team. I mean, you take a look at the health bars. They've taken a lot of damage, but it just doesn't matter. They get onto him too fast. The Kog'Maw goes down. Everybody else goes down, one by one after that, and they just end up losing these team fights. If they play a little bit more effectively front to back, maybe peel Slick Drake a little bit more, go for an early pick on a front line or something like that, and really just protect this Kog'Maw, I think they have a much better chance of winning these fights. I mean, it's just so much damage from the Kog'Maw right now. That is starting to slow down. I mean, we saw the health bar there from Lemon was massive. He's dropping huge shields onto people with these Stand Uniteds, and that's going to be difficult for Kog'Maw to cut through, but they're still going pretty strong. They just need to turn things around.
Yeah, and we were talking about how, well, we've talked about this a lot, actually. First in draft, then you were talking about how Annie and Skarner can begin to prop up this Kog'Maw, but it's all about the CC. Can you keep your Kog'Maw alive? Can he do the damage over time that you need him to do? We're talking about it in draft, talking about it in game, and it's all about execution now for SMU. He's almost at his power spike. Give him, 1.5 more items and he's there. All you need is to keep him alive, and man, oh man, can this 4-4 Kog'Maw surprise you with just how much damage he can do. But these aren't the fights that you want to be taking. You don't want to take these small skirmishes in the jungle. You want to have this big open area team fight where you can start to lock down targets with your CC and allow Slick Drake to free fire from the back. They need to get into the river, get into these big open areas and begin the team fight around these critical objectives. With that being said, I think this Drake should just be given up. I think they should hand this one over to SMU. XFlow is not strong enough to take this just quite yet.
Yeah, I would say so. I think you give this one, but we'll have to see. There's a lot of vision here for XFlow. They might be going for Wokian, but yeah, to the early skirmish points, it seems like they probably could go for like a 3v2 as long as they have the staff to be able to protect Slick Drake, but it has to be on their terms, and that starts with the vision. It just hasn't been there for me yet. We see him sweeping it now, but the reason it's good that they're sweeping it, that is a good thing, but the reason they have this opportunity to sweep things like a bush in their Krug's pit anyway is because XFlow is leaving wards there. They're leaving wards everywhere. Like there's the vision game is massive from them, right? So there just isn't going to be a Rue.
Look at the backside. Rue's in a little bit of trouble. Gets away through the shroud. That's so critical. Stand United's on top. Didn't even notice it. Lemon's going to be here reinforcing the team. The Inunu goes into ultimate. Rue's in a little bit of trouble. Going to get knocked up, taking a tower shot. Meanwhile, in the back end of the team fight, it's XFlow that's having to walk away. They get away safe for now, but Rue goes down. Great impale from Ewok. Getting that assassin out of the fight. Maybe now it's SMU's turn.
Yeah, and that was my point. I mean, SMU have tons of pick potential.
Oh, here they go. Lemon. Gonna be caught out. Lemon putting on the shields, taunt over the wall. Not
That's
gonna be locked up the CC chain for now. But with the health bars low, SMU should look to start this one up. Slick Drake will burn this down in a heartbeat. Lemon's still hovering around, but the rest of the crew has gone away. They're gonna walk through mid lane, even heading to this top side, and maybe steal away some jungle camps. Anything they can get in return for this Drake.
And this is huge here in Necrox. We see XFlow use all of their dive tools, the Stand United, the Onslaught of Shadows, and even the taunt from Lemon there on the back end when he put it on cooldown to go over the wall. After all of that is said and done, they have no way to get onto Slick Drake, and they can't fight. Obviously, it would have been a 4v5. They went for that contest, and that would have been negative anyway, but to be honest, I think they probably could have gone for that if they had their dive tools up, and they just didn't have it. I mean, Onslaught of Shadows into Stand United is a massive combo for this team. We've seen them use it to dive Slick Drake in the early game twice now. They won a team fight with it a couple minutes ago. It's been so big, but when those abilities aren't up and they're on pretty big cooldowns, suddenly this team, a lot of the power is gone, right? Because their ability to get on top of Slick Drake isn't there, and they just lose team fights. And if they can roll that into more objectives taken, I mean, they're on Soul Point now, SMU is, so Cloud Soul could be something very, very effective for them, because the champions on their team really rely on movement speed in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think they have the amplification to do so. They just need to be able to pull it off, and it's a tale of two stories here. SMU, Drake stacking, going quite far behind at kills. They're not finding the team fight wins, but they're finding objectives. They're finding towers. They're finding things that they need to enable to have the map pressure. That being said, waves are being shoved back in by XFlow, to be fair, so a little bit of map pressure lost for now, but they have 3 Drakes. It's Soul Point, so this next fight should be on SMU's turn. And again, if Slick Drake can free fire from that back line, it's a lot of trouble for XFlow. Rue gonna be up a little bit on the top side, but backflips away to safety, and all is good for now. But yeah, this soul fight is huge, and I think we'll see that fight in 3 minutes, and it may just determine the outcome of game number 1.
So it was Ewok that picked up the shutdown onto Rue earlier under turret, and he got a lot of gold for that. I believe he completed Triforce. He also has a bunch of component items. I think maybe going to like War Monks or something. I don't know. He's got a lot of component items. Oh, Righteous Glory. Okay, and then he had the Kindle Gem. Okay, that makes sense. So we'll see what he does with the Kindle Gem. But between Triforce and Righteous Glory, Skarner hurts like real bad, right? Especially if you're in those Crystal Spire areas. You do not want to be caught out by the Scorpion. We just saw him nail Rue for like, I don't know, 600 damage or something, which is just a big hit there. I don't think he crit or anything. I don't think he has crit in his build, but yeah, man, that hurt. And you do not want to get caught by the Scorpion right now. And, you know, much the same for Merlin. He's got the Crystal Scepter now, sitting on Lunes as well. He's got 180 CS. He's not behind or anything, right? Doing pretty well and providing a lot of magic damage for his team, too. Kog'Maw does some of that, as does Nunu, but in terms of just, like, raw magic damage, I think that the Annie is providing a lot of that in these team fights. So I think we start to see these team fights turn around. I don't know how valuable the dive onto Slick Drake is anymore, as Green Ninjas has been scaling up, picking up the Ardent Sensor, stuff like that. Those shields are a lot more potent. The ult has more AP now, so it's more effective too. I think they might be running away with this game. Of course, we talked about that scaling from Slick Drake. I think we'll start to see that come into effect as we pass 27 minutes.
Oh, Ghost just popped the arrow, misses, but the Onslaught of Shadows doesn't. Now you're in trouble. Merlin trying to get away, not going to be able to. It's a great combo once again. Onslaught of Shadows into the Stand United. Don't even need the Crystal Arrow that time around. They find Merlin, and all of XFlow head towards this Baron, towards the top side. They don't even need the Drake in a minute. They're just going to look to wear purple. In about 15 seconds, when this thing is taken down, SMU don't want to give this one up. They're headed over. Slick Drake on the front line. You need to keep him alive. Merlin dead, has TP in 15 seconds. What can they do for now? Wokian on the front line, but it's a great flash taunt. Wild Growth used immediately. Rue trying to find Slick Drake. He needs to be able to kill everyone before he goes down, but he just goes down first. That means the fight is almost certainly never won. Lemon doesn't have the damage to finish this at all, but somehow SMU are turning this one around, but they're going to be heading for the hills now. It is Flow who come out on top. Slick Drake goes down in the beginning of the fight. They don't have the damage to do it, and XFlow head right back to Baron. All 4 of them be wearing purple. Rainy finds himself dead for this one. Merlin just heading to the bot side for now.
Definitely trying to pick up some of that CS there. Maybe you're trying to get lane priority for the dragon that's spawning. This is going to be your soul too. I think the rest of your team's going to be up for this. Ewok might be a little bit late to this dragon. Yeah, actually it has just spawned, but this is going to be Baron going down for XFlow. And a lot of that fight, I mean, we could say it's about them picking Merlin, but to be honest, Necrox, I think it was a little bit more about fighting in that jungle corridor and then Ewok being a little bit late to the fight. Here's why. To kill Merlin, they use Onslaught of Shadows, Stand United, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow. We talked about those being the tools that they need to kill Slick Drake. They didn't have him in that fight, and they killed him anyway. So I think it was a little bit more about positioning there from SMU, and I genuinely think they could have won that fight if they played it a little bit better.
I 100% agree with you, but I think they're going to take another one. They get the flash ult. We were talking about it earlier. It's so dang easy. Stand United is going to come on top. Comes out. Lemon going to taunt up Slick Drake. He's in so much trouble. Again, he goes down early on, and the fight will be turned once more. They get the pick in the beginning, but they just don't have the damage. Slick Drake goes down so early on in the fight. It's still going down now. Rouge trying to trade one back onto Ewok. Lemon's going to be here for the taunt. It goes down. The empowered auto from Rue is there. Akali, Lemon's unstoppable. Man, Slick Drake just not being able to stay alive in these fights causes them to lose these skirmishes. They get the flash engage from Annie, but it just doesn't happen. It doesn't work for him. As this will be soul denied as XFlow pick themselves up a Cloud Drake, stalling this game out for even long, but now the gold lead looks almost insurmountable, Axeman.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, we talk about the ultimates that they're using to dive on a Slick Drake. They're picking up Cloud Drakes too here, Necrox. So where once before those windows of opportunity where those ultimates were down, were, you know, times that they could look to set up plays around objectives, look to take things off the map. Now all of a sudden, not only are those death timers longer, so they have less time to take advantage of things anyway. But now, the ults are much shorter cooldowns, so those windows are much smaller too. So if you get aced in a team fight like this, you can expect the ults to be back up by the time you go for the next fight. And essentially, that means they're always up.
Yeah, they pretty much will be always available for these team fights, but XFlow just looking good, right? I mean, Slick Drake hasn't been able to make the difference in the fights. He was the one we needed to keep an eye on, but 5 and 6 now really isn't where you want him to be. That being said, he does have 3 items. Ginsu's online, Runon's online, Bork online, a lot of AoE, max health damage. There's so much you have to worry about from this Kog'Maw if he's able to free fire, but that's the key piece, right? It's a huge if statement. If he can free fire, then he can put in the work. But every time Rue has been on the backside, Rainy, onslaught of shadows over the top, Lemon coming in with the Stand United, and they consistently find this AD carry and punish him for being too far up. And to be honest, it's just good execution by XFlow, and as they continue this Baron enhanced seeds, they don't even need to worry about the top side. We'll just be shoving in mid and bot for now, getting so much map pressure, waiting for more critical objectives to spawn.
Yeah, all good points to be sure. Rainy now has Death Stance to be a little bit more durable. He never completed that. Oh, here we go. Yeah, no Lemon walking away. Never completed that jungle item, but he will be completing Cinderhulk soon here. I don't think Slick Drake had Hurricane for that last fight, so this might make the difference, but they're trying to push in mid now. They're making some progress as Prey walks up with the range and hits the turret a couple times. Does a lot of damage to structures if you're Ashe, so Lemon's going to take this bottom turret as the rest of SMU try to protect mid. Probably just good prioritization there, but you hate to lose the structures. And yeah, I mean, as the Cloud Drakes continue to stack up here for XFlow, it's just going to get worse and worse, right? Eventually you have Enchanted Crystal Arrow up on a 30-40 second cooldown, I think is the lowest it goes. Fortunately for you, Prey doesn't have an Essence Reaver. It would be a lot worse. We could take a look at what the CDR for this champion is right now, and oh nope, not if it cuts me out of it. It is actually 0% right now for the Ashe, so not making perfect use of the old CDR, but it hasn't mattered just yet. In fact, I don't think many of these Enchanted Crystal Arrows have actually hit Slick Drake, so that's kind of been a non-issue. But it really is just the onslaught of shadows into the Stand United has just been such a massive combo, and those champions definitely have CDR, so you're not getting away with that one. But yeah, it's going to get worse and worse. Lemon's still deathless on Summoner's Rift, the only champion to be so. And yeah, he's building full tank. I think he might actually be itemizing into a Wit's End here in just a little bit, as there's a lot of magic damage coming out. Oh my goodness, the damage for the Karma there. That was gnarly.
Yeah, sitting on 2 rods, right? And, simple league math, 2 rods make a hat, so eventually that super hat will come in for Cobalt. She does a lot of damage, right? Surprisingly a lot of damage. You don't expect that, as Ewok walks right over a control ward. Not too concerned about that one. Cobalt may be in a little bit of trouble. Flash. Nope, doesn't even flash out just quite yet. Finally flashes away, but Wokian gets the kill credit. Support dead. We were talking about how much damage you do, but you don't do damage when you're in the gray screen, my friend. And it's a good pick. Drake up in 50, though. Cobalt will be alive. Baron up in 30. If they wanted to, they may be able to rush it before Cobalt got there. They just don't have the map pressure.
For sure. I mean, that's a little bit more gold in their pockets that helps. Every little bit does. Jarn's Fist is going to be picked up from Slick Drake. I think they're looking for the lifeline from Sterak's Gage. This could be effective. Ewok gonna proc Righteous Goalie Flash!
Here we go. The QSS from Ashe. Well bought. There's the arrow. The team fight's gonna be here. Stand United's in. Merlin's in a lot of trouble. Goes down. Doesn't even flash away.
Down.
Slick Drake is finally kiting his way through. This may be the fight for the Kog'Maw. The puppy's angry. Prey tries to heal away. The Arcane Barrage is coming forward with those artillery shots. But Living Artillery won't do enough this time to find the 80 carry. Finally, Slick Drake able to make a difference. That's the Kog'Maw that we wanted to see, and now they finally get some priority for the Drake. They finally get the kills they needed in the mid lane, and they finally reclaim some pressure on Summoner's Rift. Still in game number 1. They're looking to claw back their way, not only into the game, but into the series. They get themselves a Cloud Soul. Absolutely right, Axeman.
So this is huge for them, and here's why. I mean, you're talking about impale into a 50% movement speed bonus, that's busted in and of itself. If it was just that SMU are getting, I would say this is a huge advantage for them, but it's not just that. It's 10% passive movement speed on every single member of this team that already utilizes movement speed so well. Here we go, teleport in, this time from Merlin.
Baron,
This
about
should
2,500 HP, 1,000 down.
Yeah.
Wokian secures that one with the smite. Well done. We already saw him steal one away, but this time he secures the critical objective for his team. When they were so far down, I believe that team fight may have happened just under 10,000 gold difference, Axeman, and they pull that one from under the rug. XFlow let it slip between their fingers, and all of a sudden SMU are right back in the game, right back in the series. They're wearing Cloud Soul, they're wearing Baron. Let's see what they can do with it.
To be honest here, I don't think a 7k gold lead really makes up for the difference in statistics we're seeing right now. They have Cloud Soul. That's huge, right? Not the biggest soul, to be sure, but it's 4 dragons worth of stats. There's 3 different dragons represented here, so it's a good spread of stats too. 2 of them are alt CDR, which are massive for this team. You're also getting things like just the raw scaling from Kog'Maw, which is providing so much gold value for your team. And with the support staff, it's almost like you don't really need stats and items to make this comp work. So yeah, the gold lead, it's just not doing it anymore, and it'll continue to shrink as they keep taking things off of this Baron play. Ewok is just so tanky.
What is that? What is that? Prey's already dead. The onslaught shot is from behind. Instantly impaled. Slick Drake's still alive. You need to kill the Kog'Maw. What is going on? SMU rinse through XFlow in a matter of 10 seconds or less. Blink and you miss it. This Kog'Maw just rinsed your team. Slick Drake, ladies and gentlemen, has arrived 37 minutes into the game, and it's game over. Game number 1 to SMU in a fantastic fashion.
Necrox, just 4 minutes ago, they were losing their own base, and now they're taking the Nexus off a single play. That's scaling for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's why they picked the Kog'Maw. And oh man, what to say about this game? That was insane. I mean, from Slick Drake just running down Cobalt early in this game, and that was just so hyped, to this like last, I guess, unofficial pentakill. I mean, really, Slick Drake killed all those champions. So some other members of his team picked up the kills and last hit them, but I don't think anyone would argue that it isn't Slick Drake doing like 90% of the damage. In fact, let's take a look at these damage numbers, because they should be massive. Even in the team fights, even in the team fights they lost, Slick Drake did so much damage. Yeah, 37-minute game, 33,000 damage. It's like a little bit under 1,000 damage per minute, which is huge. Just so much damage coming out. And yeah, this was a fantastic team comp for this team. That's all it takes sometimes, is that you just get a team comp that works for you and you execute exceptionally well. And that's really what SMU went for here. They got the hyper carry, the Lulu Kog'Maw. They got the support staff for everybody else. They got the CC down. They lost a couple team fights, but this was a heavy dive comp. To be honest, Necrox, I would love to see this comp, this SMU comp, played into another front to back or another style of comp, because if this is what it does to a dive comp, something that's supposed to counter it, what would it do to something else, like a big team fight comp or something? It might decimate them. So this is a fantastic game 1. This is what game 1 should be, just crazy comps thrown out and see what hits, and then something just, hitting a home run. I love to see it. I'm excited for game 2.
I am absolutely excited for game 2. Slick Drake whipping out the Kog'Maw in game number 1. Not even sure how it gets spicier than that, but because of the way game 1, manifested, it is almost guaranteed to get more interesting, which I don't even have to tell you all at this point, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game number 2 between Shadow Mustangs Unleashed and XFlow Esports. 1-0 SMU are up. We will be right back. Hello everyone, and welcome back. SMU versus XFlow Esports, still here on Style Esports, week 2 in the Demacia group. Game 1 was an absolute banger. We got to see Slick Drake on the Kog'Maw absolutely tearing through the squad. 37, almost I believe 38-minute game was that one in the end, but headed into game number 2, we still got the same crew here with you. I'm still Necrox, your play-by-play for the night, and joining me on the desk, Axeman87. How are you feeling about game 1 going into game 2?
I mean, that was one of the better games I've watched, especially as a game 1 in the league, like the last several seasons. That was so much fun to watch. It's always nice when games go later, too, because you really get a feel of, like, the skill level of both teams, and like it's not like a 20-minute roll or something like that where you're just like, they lost in draft, or something happened, there's a big asterisk on the game. Like, these teams duked it out, like several team fights, sprawling team fights over every single objective. There were six elemental dragons, 2 barons. There was so much game here in game 1, and at the end of the day, SMU came out on top in a big way. They just were able to survive the early game, the mid game, all the way into the back end to 35 minutes. And that's when Kog'Maw really hit that stride and the game was over. It was fantastic to watch them execute a comp like that, that's not super popular anymore, especially with the champions that they did it with. I mean, there's late game scaling comps in Season 10 to be sure, but not quite like that.
Yeah, and I like to see these adaptations in draft. We get to see XFlow picking away the Lulu and SMU banning away the Shen. So that to me is always funny to watch these teams sort of bounce back and forth to what they want to change up. But whoa, we're getting a Jinx Soraka bot lane. Man, Slick Drake, he's favoring these hyperscaling AD carries and getting these enchanter supports by his side.
Definitely. Essentially, the Shadow Mustangs say here, you can't ban out all the enchanters. You can't ban out all the hyper carries. You can try all you want, but there will always be another one. Soraka Jinx here into game 2. I'm excited. This is going to be huge. We saw XFlow. It was an admirable attempt to shut down Slick Drake, and several times they got the shutdown on him. He was like even KDA for most of the mid game, so they did super well. I'm interested to see how well SMU fare with XFlow doing that from the get-go, right? Because it took them a little bit to respond. It took a while for the Hecarim to make it down the bot lane to try and shut them down. I think it must have been like past 8 or 9 minutes when Slick Drake was already 3-0, and by then, it might have been too late to actually effectively shut him down. If they're doing it from level 1 this go around, Slick Drake's going to have a much more difficult time making this Jinx work. Now, that said, I think Jinx and Soraka are in a better spot than Lulu Kog'Maw are. Maybe that's, a hot take. I know Lulu probably edges out Soraka in terms of enchanters, but the synergy that Kog'Maw and Lulu have is like really hard to replicate between an enchanter and a hyper carry. So maybe that's going to be a little bit of a disadvantage for them. That said, Soraka Jinx, very strong champions. We'll see how XFlow deal with it this go around. We're further in the draft now. Lulu, I wanted to say about picking away the Lulu here is that I kind of like it more so than like picking away the Kog'Maw or something, because Lulu goes with a lot more champions than Kog'Maw does. If you want to run back the Ashe, Lulu works with the Ashe, right? This isn't them hamstringing themselves to take Lulu away. This will work perfectly fine as a bot lane. They run back Akali too, and this time they're going to have Volibear as Hecarim is taken away. So this is already shaping up to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right with picking away that Lulu on the bot side. Lulu and Ashe is good. I mean, Lulu's known for her playstyle with attack speed-based carries, like Kog'Maw, like Ashe. So that, to me, makes a lot of sense. I like to see the adaptation there. Jinx, to me, is very interesting, right? Jinx is sort of fallen away from, the stardom that she was quite a while ago, and she was just, not only an early game bully, but a late game hyper carry where she got there so consistently. But now, again, they're drafting around this hyper carry. It's the same style from SMU. You have Enchanter, and you have all these tools to help out your hyper carry, finish out this game when they get that itemization. XFlow, on the other hand, again, it's not necessarily a dive comp this time around from XFlow, but it's it's much more dive than SMU. They have the Camille for the engage. They have the Volibear over the top. Even Akali, who's looking to dash around onto the back line. It looks almost like a salty run back to me here, Axeman.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, a lot of the same things that work here that we saw in game one. The adaptations I'm seeing so far is that they lose the Shen, they lose the Hecarim. Those are the big two things here. Karma didn't work out too well for them in game one. It wasn't able to shut down Kog'Maw Lulu. So it's good that they replaced it with Lulu here, replaced it at all. I think it's probably a positive thing. Akali, I don't think was a weak spot for XFlow in game one. I think it was actually a point of power. Ru got picked a couple of times, which was unfortunate, but that's not necessarily like the champion's fault, right? I mean, that's just Ru mispositioning or thinking that they had more map pressure than they actually had, which is an easy mistake to make. I think at the point in game that happened. So I'm glad they're running back Akali. I think Orianna deals with Akali a little bit better than Annie did. Annie had the all-in, but as we saw, there was just never enough damage to be able to actually kill Akali. She just went in the Shroud and ran. I don't think Orianna's going to have that problem. I think you got a lot of burst there, but also just sustain damage. You're dropping balls on them all lane. Akali can't dodge everything. Eventually, they're going to have to leave lane. You're going to get a CS lead. But I would say the biggest difference between Game 1, Game 2 XFlow is going to be the Camille. We saw them use Stand United. Almost every single fight they won was down to that ability. How they're going to deal with that without it is beyond me. They got some dive tools, right? They got the Stormbringer. That's going to be helping them out. They also have Lulu that's able to, I think it's called Wild Shape. Or Embiggen. I think it might be Embiggen, actually. But whatever their ultimate is, using that on Ashe is going to be, a competent tool for both defense and offense. So there is still a lot of dive potential from XFlow. I just think it's not as potent.
Yeah, I mean, there is dive potential. Lulu's ult is actually Wild Growth. That is... Wild
Growth, okay.
Yeah. It's Embiggen, Wild Growth, same thing. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The loss of Stand United makes things a little harder. You're not playing off Stand United's cooldown now. You're playing more on rotations and Camille's TP cooldown. Basically, all XFlow have done have traded their jungler and their top laner here. It was, the big, burst damage jungler last time in Hecarim. Now we're looking at Camille, and then we're putting tank on jungle in Volibear. So they've, swapped those two roles, understanding that they can, sort of abuse the top lane matchup more because SMU Ewok's playing a tank-style top lane, so they can get a little more map pressure with that bruiser top. So they're going to go ahead and put Camille there, and they're going to go ahead and swap Volibear into the jungle because this allows them a little more agency just as a team, right? You don't have to play around your Hecarim. You can play around your laners, and whichever lane is winning, that allows you to play in that style, not having to draft Karma for the speed. They're getting Lulu, getting to pick that away. So I'd like to see the adaptation here from XFlow. The only really big question mark to me is execution, right? They got a lead early last game. Their scaling's a little bit better this game, but can they close it out before Jinx, just like last game, gets too big and too big of a problem?
That really is the question, is the late game scaling. I'm not really sure how it wormed its way into my head there, but the word Embiggen is a Hearthstone card that buffs your minions, I guess, that are in your deck. I don't really play a lot of Hearthstone, so I'm not sure how that got there. I guess it's also a Simpsons reference, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, not sure how that got there. It is Wild Growth. So yeah, that's what makes sense to me. We're in the spectator delay here, and it's going to be all about scaling, essentially. You have the Orianna scaling, the Jinx too, and that is going to be very dangerous. I mean, this is a competent team fight comp. Whereas before we saw Lemon with the champion that can join team fights in the early game fairly easily, now it's kind of down more to Ewok, right? I mean, if you're Unstoppable Onslaught, I think I got to get better at these ults, but it's something like that. If you're ulting down the river as Scion and joining these early skirmishes, you're already doing way more than Camille is, right? Camille, I think, has the upper hand in this lane, but as we've already seen, it doesn't seem to matter for Ewok, right? He's not trying to win the early game. He's trying to be useful to Slick Drake in the late game. And that is something Ewok is going to always be able to do as long as he has its Unstoppable Onslaught, I'm pretty sure. I'm 90% sure.
You're 100% correct there, actually.
Yes. We got one, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is what you get for being a caster for a long time. You learn all the ultimate names, and then you forget all the ultimate names. So that is just part of the job. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We'll see if Sion can make a difference with those ultimates, being able to join the fights relatively quickly. I think Lemon not having that, State United is a big key to their last game win. If the adaptation is there from XFlow, then I expect them to do much better this game, right? Camille is a much better pick than Shen on the top side in terms of just raw team fight potential and even split push potential. But I don't know. I'm excited to see how things play out, especially watching Rue on Akali again. I think Akali did really, really well early game last time. The main thing stopping him was this Lulu that was handed over to SMU last game. The wild growth makes Rue's, a perfect execution really hard to execute. He can get those executions, so this time I think Jinx is in a little more trouble. With that being said, we will tune into game number 2 in just over 30 seconds. We'll be right back with SMU versus XFlow on Style Esports. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the Jinx train is a-rollin'. Slick Drake rolling out of the gates here, and SMU versus XFlow in game number 2, week number 2 in Demacia group. Between these two squads, 15 gold already in the pocket of Green Ninjas, but not actually sure who got 15 gold last time and whether that was the game deciding factor. You have the memory for that, Axeman?
Oh yeah, it was Cobalt. It was the Karma.
Oh, so we were wrong. Let me correction.
We were wrong.
You were wrong.
I was wrong.
But I am aware that you have a little spicy prediction for us this time around, X-Man.
I do have a little prediction for you. So we should see Wokian start topside. I think they're like anticipating this gank though. They actually saw him on the pixel brush, so maybe they try and defend this. But anyway, I think Wokian starts topside. It's gonna take blue, go into Gromp, and then transition gang through mid lane onto Rue. Take bot side third camp. It's probably not going to be his buff this time, but he's going to take something. And then gank into bot lane. That bot lane gank should decide the trajectory of the rest of this game, like it did in game one, right? I mean, the whole idea for SMU here is you want to get Slick Drake fed in the early game, try to get that snowball rolling into the late so that it just doesn't matter what happens, you just win in the late game. And I think that's how they get it started up. So he's taking the blue now. We'll see what he does after that.
Well, so I assume
Yikes.
this is going to put a little bit of damper on the plan, as Wokian is immediately going topside. The red buff is actually taken away, so there's no opportunity for level 3, which means he's going to go to the top side. Directed camera, please do me justice. Nope. Snowball will miss, and not even going to look at the top side. League camera is flaming that gank, not even us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you don't hit anything, directed camera doesn't care. And yeah, this is probably an adaptation to getting invaded, but I still think the best course of action is to take your Gromp there. I don't know if running over and taking red is necessarily the best thing. Obviously, you get the buff, which is all-encompassing and all-important, but you're a support jungler, so keeping up in farm with Volibear was never really your win condition. It's supporting Slick Drake, who is now very much behind in this lane, as they take just several bad trades in a row here. Now they have the Soraka, so it doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah.
In fact, it feels pretty good, to be honest. They're both full health now.
Bad trades often feel like even trades or good trades when you have a Soraka, because of that, sustain that she can provide, of course, with the healing, and even the poke that Soraka provides. You can see Prey ticking down a little bit there, just due to Green Ninja's Q. Raining down from the sky, providing a little bit of poke. And Prey's actually at about half HP and about 3/4 mana, so if he's not careful, there could be Wokian rolling down here after this topside clear. But Rainy should get this scuttle, which means that vision will be theirs. Give him a little more safety on this bot angle.
And I don't want to spend too much time on jungle pathing, but they're going to trade... Ooh, Ewok.
Ooh, Lemon. Getting a little aggressive, traded back, slowed up. The trade will just halt there, but Wokian rolling on up to the top side once more. Directed camera, will we get to see it this time around? No, we're going to stay on the bot side for now. Slick Drake trouble, polymorphed, where's the flash? And not even going to commit it, heal used. Not able to flash away from that one. First blood to Prey this time around on the all-incompetent Ashe we got to see last time around, but this time, making it work.
Definitely makes it work this go around, and I think this might be SMU anticipating a little bit of bot lane focus. Here's Wokian with the transition. They're gonna kill Rue, actually.
Should be dead to rights here. Gonna be rooted up. One more ball from Oriana will do it. Goes into the shroud, getting a little evasive now. Has the hot feet. Can he get away from this one? Not gonna be able to trade it back onto Myrrh. Will they get the double kill? The ball's gonna roll up. Rue has nothing left. And Oriana. And this Nunu find the kill. Wokian claiming kill credit. Rue caught out there in the mid lane. Flash not able to come through that time really to any avail. It is summoners burned on both sides, so 4 flashes burned in the exchange, but it's a return kill for the side of SMU.
So not quite the quick little transition gag I was hinting at there, but they get the kill on Rue after after a considerable amount of time. They also get both summoner spells, so very, very solid gang executed here. Rue coming back into lane with Vampiric Scepter. Now, I'm pretty sure they started Hextech Revolver last game, so this a little bit more defensive that we're looking at, I would say, and that is representative of how Rue is going to be playing this lane out. Rue actually taking some minions there and backing immediately after just teleporting to lane. This is like an old cheater back, right? Yeah, they're coming back with a Doran shield. Back with the Doran shield here, just really trying to buckle down on the defense here, as they clearly recognize that, hey, if it's going to be Wokian focusing on the top side of the map, I don't want to be on the butt end of that, right? I don't want that to take me down constantly. I don't have the same escape tools that the Camille has. I just have Shroud, and that's it. So they're going to be building more defensively here. Prey immediately getting heel cut. This is exactly what you want to be seeing if you're a coach, an analyst, even just a fan of this squad. If you're into a Soraka lane, you have to buy this first back. You just it's just required reading.
Yeah, and X Futures not only is actually really good for Soraka, therefore it's good for everyone on this team, but it also does a lot of work into Jinx and Nunu, right? Nunu, that consumed, does a lot of self-healing, and Jinx just, as she begins to step up, gets Bloodthirster procced, along with possibly Bork if she decides to build it. Now in a little bit of trouble. The slows are here. Where's the next volley? Not going to be in time. Rainy won't be able to help their bot laner secure anything, but it's a flash off of Green Ninja. Certainly happy to pick that one up.
Absolutely, and the zaps haven't been too accurate here from Slick Drake, so maybe a little bit less comfortable on this hyper carry than they were the Kog'Maw, but things haven't gone too far south for them just yet. It's just the one death. And something else about this, bunch of damage there from Ewok. With the Thornmail too, he's not going down very easily anymore, and Ewok kind of winning this lane all of a sudden. But yeah, another thing about the X-Call is that it's just a damage spike. It's an incredibly small one. It's like 1.5 long swords, but if you're up against, wow, they took that down fast. I didn't even see that happen, but I guess that's down to Rainy using all of their mana and health to be able to take it. But yeah, 15 AD is better than Slick Drake, who is on this hyper carry trying to wait out for a BF sword. In fact, Slick Drake is going to go straight into tier 2 boots. He's not even looking for the legendary item just yet. So Prey is going to be at a significant advantage in that all-in scenario. We already start to see them using that.
Yeah, you can see just how important that is, and you know how much map pressure they can gain not only on these lanes, but Rainy being able to, you know, make pressure around the map, getting the flash bot side, trying to make plays mid as Woken will be chased out of the jungle, rolling his play out like, no, please, I didn't mean to. You can have your chickens back, Mr. Bolivar. And actually a slow start for both these squads. I know we talk about how some of these teams like to go into lull states and how it can get a little boring, but when you're 1-0 down off a 37-minute game, and you want to reset your mentals, right? You don't want to force anything crazy, you know, let your mentals completely boom. I like to see XFlow calming things down this time around, saying, okay, guys, let's just like actually play together as a team instead of forcing these crazy skirmishes. Let's play to our win conditions. Let's play together. Let's slow things down a bit and really get a grasp of what's going on in this series.
Absolutely, and that's a lot of it's down to draft too, right? Last game we saw them with Shen the top lane. Shen, fantastic support. Works competently as a late game champion if you can support a hyper carry. They didn't have one, so it didn't end up working in the late game. Now they have Camille. Camille scales fantastically and can do it all of it in the side lane, which is what SMU is desperately trying to avoid here as they're looking to play front to background objectives. So Camille's huge. She can make a lot happen in the side lane, especially in the late game. And yeah, a lot of that is the reason for the lull state here, because SMU is looking to do exactly the same thing. Between Jinx and Orianna, they want to slow this game down and see who can scale out the hardest. I think SMU still scales a little bit harder. Now, scaling is an interesting question. Ooh, jungle here. No more boring analysis.
Shockwave in the mid lane. Rude taking about half the HP bar. But now is the trade going to go back? No, Rude just gets one empowered auto. Decides to step away. Ewok won't land that ground slam or whatever in the world that ability is called. Basically a big ground punch, nothing too dangerous there. On the bot side, though, we got a couple members coming in as a Green Ninja maybe in a lot of trouble now, trying to get himself awake, hiding away. Wokian maybe in a little bit of trouble now. Green Ninja healed, going to go in, but the Stormbringer Rainy's in going forward for the team. The autos are there. AD carry gets away, but the support and jungler die. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, there's a solo kill, I believe, that occurred there as well. Everything coming up XFlow favored.
Yeah, you hate to see something like that happen if you're an SMU. Yikes. Yeah, that was like it hurt. By the way, that's not even Thornmail, that's Bramble Vest. I think I called it Thornmail earlier. He just has a Bramble Vest and he's hitting Camille this hard. That is so wild to me, man. I mean, if you go full lethality here, I think you one-shot that lemon, but I don't suggest that, but you know, I think it might be fun. Anyway, yeah, what is happening to SMU right now? All of a sudden, it's down to CS, which we saw in game 1. the CS differences in every single lane, every single position were massive. 15, 20 CS leads. We're seeing that here again, but bigger. Wokian looking for the gank top. It's going to get not caught out on a ward, but I think maybe he thought he was. As Lemon goes to the reset, he kind of gets a free back there. But yeah, unfortunate. And yeah, here we see it again. Rue's like, what, 30 up or something? Another 10 in the top lane, just all across the board. It's just Wokian that has the lead. And to be honest, you're a support-style jungler. I don't think you need to be out farming Volibear. It's good that you are, for sure, because now that support in the late game is getting more potent, but it's not something you should be looking to do. Oh, here we go.
Rainy on Merlin. Rainy in the mid lane.
Teleport.
Their Shockwave going to be used. 2 TPs now committed. Mur, not in any trouble, can walk himself away. Ewok walking himself away as well. Lemon deciding to join that one, and now Wokian's gonna roll up. Rue maybe in a little bit of trouble, has to get himself away now. Shroud not available just quite yet. Ground Pound gonna get him down to about 10% HP. Rainy in danger, has to walk away. Ewok gets the kill credit there, just too slow. Can't get away from that one. He's so low. The flash auto from Ewok. The big man with the axe. And now Lemon has to get himself out of this one. Forces the 1v1 and the Hextech ultimatum, waiting for the bot lane to come through. Ewok is low. Final bit of picks comes through. Lemon gets kill credit. The passive is proc, but Cobalt should have no time walking back to tower. Prey will slow up the angry Scion. And all right, a lot of fighting going down in mid, but SMU pick up 2, I believe, in the end. XFlow pick up 1.
Yeah, so positive trade there. Rift Herald immediately dropped bot side. Is going to get answered by Rue's teleport. This will be 3v3. 3v4, excuse me.
Cobalt. Not sure what you're doing now. The TPs are committed. They're going to try to make the play happen. Rue TP'd onto the backside. It's a great execution on the Soraka. That means the heals aren't there. Wild Growth used himself onto Cobalt. Now the Stormbringer's coming through for Rainy. Rue dancing forward, trying to find the kill onto Wokian. He's so slow. The Ashe volley. The absolute Ranger's focus from Ashe. She doesn't miss. The slows go through for Prey and crew. And XFlow pick up a great team fight win for themselves, forcing the TPs through. Wonderful play there from them, and they get a big win on the bot side, stopping that Rift Herald play.
Yeah, and Shockwave was almost up off cooldown too, and that would have been massive in that fight if Merlin had that one. As it stands, it's going to be second Dragon going down for XFlow here as we look to a mountain map in Mountain Soul. This is really big for both sides, right? I mean, you got some pretty tanky boys either side of the map, and most importantly, kind of some bruiser-style champions, which in my view is what Mountain Soul is best on. Probably followed closely by that hyper carry style champion. Having that extra shield on those style champions is like, you know, essentially having an extra Lulu follow you around at the start of a fight, which is, you know, pretty good as things go. And yeah, one lucky team can hope to get that. If game 1 was anything to go by, this one should be going the distance too. So we can expect that 5-6 dragons here. Lemon, man, this is a lot of damage. You gotta be careful.
Damage. He's building full tank, and Lemon's just eating the those Qs, those fully charged Qs, and like, okay, I mean, I'll eat it for now, and I mean, maybe lives to tell the tale about how strong Scion is, but the damage is deceptively high on such a tanky champion. And Ewok doing well on it, making things happen to the top side, actually getting a little bit of more pressure in this lane as that wave will crash. Lemon going to go ahead and back. Nope, just kidding. Caster's Curse will stay around, collect one more wave. As both these teams want to chill out for now. Next fight maybe in about 4 minutes for this Drake. Not sure if SMU want to give Soul Point away at this point in the game.
I would probably say no, you don't want to do that. You give up a lot of map pressure doing that too, right? Rue, this is the long con here. Green Ninja smells a rat, though.
Yeah,
gonna drop the control ward.
If this could be successful in the first place. It's a 3v2 with Soraka, has Wish. Jinx still has both summoners, they'll call it off. Rue just using a little bit of that lane prio to get himself away, but gonna lose some CS, some XP, some gold, some mental, and any other tax that you want to throw onto the back of that is Orianna and Mur get to shove that one in to the mid lane. As Slick Drake and Green Ninja back, they will be returning back to lane now, but this may just be first tower going down if Prey can hurry up and get this one. Meanwhile, on the top side, heavy trades. And will Prey get this one? Yes, he will. So it will be bot side that secures the first turret for XFlow.
Yeah, and Lemon looking to use that Triforce Power Spike to get the kill down onto Ewok. Ewok, unfortunately, kind of giving away that Wokian was there by walking down the river. Normally, that's how you tell, right? Rue?
Ooh,
Shockwave.
Shockwave into the ball. It's a great combo. Rue tries to backflip the play, force the
Wait,
flat.
what?
Okay, that was to the Shroud, I believe. There goes the arrow onto Wokian. Nunu's in danger. Has to walk himself away. The arrows are there from Prey. The damage is coming through. The Aftershock will keep him tanky enough for now. Wild Growth not going to do enough to keep Rainy for the tower dive. Flash committed from Rue and Rainy. Flash away from by Wokian. Great shot from Prey with the arrow. Wokian's walking right back in with the Aftershock ball. Gonna slow down Rainy for now. They clear the wave away. It's back to a neutral state, but everyone is rotated up to this mid lane to try to win this critical mid-game team fight. No blood has been spilled. Cooldowns burned. Summoners used as well, but at the end of the day, every single member still standing.
They certainly are, and Gunblade Power Spike now onto Rue. Fork completed by Prey as well.
Oh, okay. Ooh. What is this from Rue? Trying to get really aggressive. Tower shot, not going to be able to land the, what is that, Super Mega Death Rocket, I believe?
Oh, yeah.
Jinx flies through the...
That's a Death Rocket, all right.
What a name.
What a name indeed. Lemon taking down the Rift Hero. After losing top turret there, Dragon in a little under a minute now, and both sides looking to get the last little bit of CS to hit those item spikes. Fortunately for SMU, most of XFlow already have. I mean, there's maybe just a Dead Man's Plate here to be picked up for Rainy, and that is all of our level 1, those first legendary items. I mean, Lemon has a Triforce for goodness sakes, and that's just massive for them. A lot of solid items coming through here for SMU too. You have the IE onto Slick Drake. Still looking for a first item for Green Ninjas, who's been shut down pretty hard this game. Not a lot of ways to get any kind of CS. It's like they have the Frostfang, and that's they haven't really had the opportunity to hit the abilities. So that's hurting them in the gold department for sure. Merlin just got a Roa, has 1 stack on that, so that'll be scaling up pretty soon. But yeah, it just seems like XFlow really have the edge in this fight. Ooh, Rue. This is Slick Drake dead here.
This is scary. This is scary. Gunblade going through. Perfect execution over the top. One more Q will do it. 5-point strike into death. It's the truest combo. Now Rue has to find himself out of this one. A little bit of a scary situation. Backflips into the fog of war. Lockshot going through just to spot out where everyone's trying to track him through. But Rue will get away. It's a free kill onto the AD carry. That means Drake is almost certainly theirs. That is sole point now to XFlow Esports in game number 2, trying to bring this series back. Hextech Ultimatum on the top side. Lemon wins this extended trade. Ooh. There's the second stun. Unstoppable flash in front from Lemon. Gonna dodge the ground pound. Lemon, one more auto, does it, and he gets the solo kill. It only took 19 minutes, but Lemon did it. 1-on-1 kill onto the top side.
Yeah, and you Triforce into Tiamat. It doesn't get much better than this for Lemon. And when I say it doesn't get much better, it's all uphill, or I guess downhill from here for Camille. I mean, it's super easy at this point. We talked about the scaling from Camille. That's essentially what you're seeing happen right now. Ewok spent this whole game building the armor, trying to stay 1 step ahead. We see him after the solo kills start to build MR, recognizing that he can't side lane against this Camille anymore, so you can't keep trying. I guess they send Wokian to like clear waves. I don't really know anymore, but Camille essentially getting whatever they want in the side lane from here on out. Is there's just nobody to match them, right? I mean, you can't send your hyper carries, either AP or AD, and there's no one else that can really stand in front of them and avoid a dive, even under a turret or two. That just wouldn't be an effective strategy. So yeah, this might just be XFlow running away with the game, playing through Lemon.
Yeah, and Lemon has done a fantastic job on the top side. Again, we were talking about how the draft was switched up here from XFlow. They traded the tank bruiser duty. Now Lemon is using this bruiser to great extent, right? And Slick Drake hasn't been the force that we saw last game. Of course, we only really saw Slick Drake become that unstoppable force at about 30 some odd minutes. last game when Slick Drake actually started to put in a lot of damage and work. But that was when he got first blood, 4 basically free kills in lane. He's 0-3, 0-3-0. Slick Drake has had almost negative impact on this map, and he's nowhere near where he was last game. He's fallen incredibly far behind this Ashe, who has, maybe a half an item to a whole item's worth of advantage over him in gold. And now they need to find a way for this Jinx to actually be useful, or they're just going to continue losing side lane pressure and won't be able to keep up with objectives, which XFlow have great control of at this point.
Absolutely, and without that ability to control objectives, it's just going to be Dragon Soul going down to XFlow. As you said, they have unmatched objective control thus far into the game. After that, what can you really hope for? I mean, Mountain Soul isn't exactly just a game-winning mechanic like Ocean Soul is. You don't just outright win over it, but it's a huge advantage nonetheless. And on top of that, you're talking about a team with 4 dragons to a team with 0 dragons, and that is a lot of stats you're picking up for free off of those objectives. Yikes.
That's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, unfortunate for him, but the Dead Man's Plate finally completed here for Rainy. They hit the second item there, but first item, Gargoyle's Stone Plate for Wokian. This is pretty interesting. I think no, I don't think he went for that in game 1. I would have to double check, but I'm pretty sure he had a different item then.
Yeah, and if he did, it doesn't seem to be the best play, at least from the perspective of damage output in this game. Wokian, yes, he's playing tank for his team. He's playing, that big beef ball in the front line is it's going to take a positive trade there on the top side. But yeah, I don't like Stone Plate first. It doesn't offer you too much. I'm not sure if Wokian's running conditioning, but that means conditioning is not in yet. No, conditioning is in, but Stone Plate isn't offering you much value other than what conditioning offers and base stats. So to me, I don't appreciate Stone Plate too much on Nunu, at least first item, but I mean, they won first game with it, so if they did go Stone Plate first last game, then it may have worked, but this time around, we'll see if that is the move. Speaking of itemization, though, we're looking at Merlin, Roa, sitting on 6 stacks, sitting on another Lost Chapter as well. Gunblade in for Rue has been sitting on that for quite a while, as they're going to try to fish out Rue here, but Murr's walking into a trap, or call an ambulance, but not for me. Rue gonna be in a little bit of danger this time around. Wish trying to help the squad out. Rainy goes in with the ultimate now. Lemon's gone over top of the wall. Forces the 1v1 in the Hextech ultimatum. Now it's Ewok trying to front line for his team. The big Scion, they get the shutdown. Jinx is gonna kite forward this entire time. Look at the rockets flying out from Slick Drake, running out of mana. Forced to switch over to that machine gun. Rue goes into the Shroud. Gonna be hopped up. No, uses a perfect execution to hop himself back away. Second charge going away from the squad. Stunned up is Green Ninja. Flash away from the volley. The top side from Prey. They get away for now, but Drake is up. We'll see which squad can claim control over this one.
Slick Drake's sitting on almost 3,000 gold.
Up Cobalt in so much trouble, having to kite away. Prey trying to get his support to safety. Does so effectively with those slows. We'll see who can take control of this one. TP from Rue onto the backside. If they don't notice it, this may be a bit of danger, but they will walk away for now. Everyone's health bars are so low, Green Ninja can't heal everyone up, as Wokian will throw a big snowball into the mix, but a great backflip from Rue finds Murrin, just not the right spot at the right time. Goes down, and Drake being shown up the whole time. XFlow pick up Mountain Soul.
Yeah, and you see the rocket there trying to go for it there in the back end. A valid attempt to be sure, but yeah, I mean, it's just a rough situation. Obviously good that SMU were able to get a couple of kills, get a couple of picks just before an objective, but I guess I feel that they can't really fight over it just yet. They used too many resources, were too low on health to fight over an objective. Unfortunate for sure. That said, Slick Drake just finished Rune's Hurricane. This is real big for the Jinx, right? You're like half 3/4 of the way away from being like the most powerful you're ever going to be in a game of League of Legends, and that is a huge power spike. Slick Drake looking to kill Rue, has a lot of healing on their side.
Wish is going to go down, so they've already committed one ultimate to the fight. But Rue is just so evasive, you can't really track down the Sakali. They send 3 members bot side in order to try to make that happen, and it's great map awareness from XFlow to immediately start the Baron up. Ewok here has that unstoppable onslaught. The Hextech ultimatum's going to go down. They're going to try to turn and burn. They're going to get down this Wokian Nunu. Finally going down. Shockwave onto 3, gonna find everyone, but they're still able to kite away from now. Super Mega Death Rocket on cooldown, so they don't have it just quite yet. It finally comes available. Where do they fire it? There it goes. Doesn't land on anyone. Cobalt slowed up by that zap. Ball's going forward. Rue's gonna take the bat flip shuriken back in, rooted up by the Jinx traps. Ewok's still in the front line for the squad. It's a lot of damage coming out from Slick Drake now, but Lemon's joined the fight. Flashes away, they find Myrrh. They're gonna immediately turn on to the 80 carry. Slick Drake's dead. Ewok's the only member standing, trying to find one kill onto the 80 carry. Goes into the passive, not able to do it this time. And it's great play from XFlow in the end. They take the fight slow, but they take it with absolute certainty. All 5 members still left alive. All 5 members will be wearing purple.
For sure, then, Necrox. That was a pretty high fight there, but I don't know. I feel like Slick Drake, you gotta turn off the rockets. I feel like you go for just trying to shred them down a little bit more. I like the rockets' commitment in team fights because you get some splash damage, and that could be huge for you. But I mean, you just got IE, you got Rune's Hurricane. For me, I'm looking for the attack speed, just trying to shred somebody down so that we can start rolling that into winning the team fight. When you're hitting everybody at once, and they really weren't. I mean, they weren't getting too much splash damage from the rockets. It's good, but you're not killing anybody, right? You're just kind of lowering their health bars all at the same time, which isn't exactly what you want to be doing. I feel like if they immediately start shredding down Rue, start shredding down Prey, they actually pick up a kill there, eliminate a damage source, and maybe they roll down the team fight win. As it stands, they didn't do that. Baron now taken for XFlow. They'll be running this down in the 4 mid. Now maybe rotating top. Camille on the side lane is unstoppable. Nobody can match them, so they're going to be getting whatever they want. I think they're sending Merlin, of all people, to try and stop him. I think that's just because he's the longest range, but that's about it, man. Lemon is just going to get this turret for free. They send all 5. You're not going to catch them.
Yeah,
that doesn't work either. Yeah.
And now they lose so much map pressure, Axe. I mean, like, there's no way that you can A, catch Lemon, and B, make the map pressure that you get from catching Lemon worth it in the long run. So because they don't catch Lemon, which is step 1, now they lose top turret. Now Lemon just gets to walk back and apply, Baron enhanced siege to this turret. He just says, okay, Ewok, you can hit me all you want. I'll take the turret, and then I'll take your life. The Hextech limit is going to go down. The knockup will land. Or now Ewok going to walk away. The shielding's there. Lemon doesn't have the damage to kill him just quite yet. And gets out of that one, but he gets the turret. They get top turret as well. Wokian gonna put the ball forward with a little bit of speed from Myrrh. Slow's coming down from Prey. They're gonna root up 1. Immediately trying to get out of this one. Rainy gets the Michaels from Cobalt. Arrow onto 1. Rue over the wall. Green Ninja's in trouble. Throws down the Wish. It's a great Volley Bear ultimate. The Wild Growth is going to come forward. Wokian trying to team fight his way out, but it's no way you're going to get out of this one. Rainy and crew absolutely put the boot down on the top side of the map, crushing the throats of SMU out of this game number 2. They bring this series back. The game should just be over. Wokian goes real fast, not able to root up Lemon now. Nexus turret number 1 under fire. They don't have the minion wave just quite yet on this turret, but they get it anyway. Nexus turret number 2 absolutely in shambles, and SMU don't pick up this one. We will be in a game number 3 situation between these two teams.
Necrox, I gave my little prediction, I guess, at the start of this game about what pathing Wokian would take. I was vastly wrong about that. What we saw was Wokian with back-to-back ganks up on the top side onto Lemon. That I mean, results-based analysis ended up doing exactly nothing for them. It was always going to be Slick Drake as the win condition here, with Merlin's success hinging on whether or not they were going to have a source of magic damage in this game. And as it stood, man, Wokian didn't make anything happen in the mid or the bot lanes. And to be honest, the Gangster on the top lane weren't great either. I think they killed Lemon once, but that kind of pales in comparison to what they made happen in game one. Slick Drake almost carried this, right? I mean, he's almost at 3 items. I really feel like if he hit that power spike, these team fights look a lot different. The Soraka not quite as good at keeping Slick Drake alive, right? The heel cut really hurt the Soraka here, and it was good on prey to itemize that way. And to be honest, I feel like XFlow were just ready from the get-go. And not only that, but SMU didn't seem committed to making this team comp function. It seemed like they were trying to focus on this top lane Scion that, to be honest, was never going to win lane or win late game against Camille. I really felt like the Scion pick should have been played more as like a roaming top laner. Yeah, there was a couple things here also I feel XFlow did that should have been punished a little bit harder. The Volibear I don't think is great right now. I feel like they really didn't maximize the Nunu's potential to lock down objectives over Volibear. I mean, Nunu just has crazy objective control, but they played around the top side. They got a couple of Rift Heralds, and at the end of the day, it just wasn't worth the same as Mountain Soul was.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think it all started, believe it or not, with that pathing at the beginning of the game. Why are you sending your resources to a tank lane, right? Yes, you may want to shut down this Camille, but giving the gold to a Scion is really never going to be worth it. When you draft a Jinx, that is almost always got to be your priority. Get some gold onto this damn carry, and they just don't get the gold in. Therefore, the damage is not there. Rue absolutely popping off. Lemon popping off on the top side, and it's a great turnaround in the series from XFlow Esports. We'll see if they can do it in game number 3. It is about as silver scrapes as we can get it in the regular season. Don't you guys go anywhere. We'll be right back with game number 3, Style Esports. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, maybe for the last time. Actually, matter of fact, the basic last time I will be saying these a little bit of introductions, except when we load up Undo Summoner's Rift. But we are in picks and bans. Man, they're flying through this once again, looking pretty dang similar to games 1 and 2. Salty run back number 2, Axeman, is that what we're feeling for this game 3?
I think so. Yeah, I mean SMU were on blue side this time. They first picked Lulu, identifying that was really a huge source of their power in game 1 was the Lulu onto X hyper carry. I think this makes sense. We already made the point in game 2, the draft there, that Lulu works with way more champions than Kog'Maw does. So if Kog'Maw gets picked away from them, and I don't think it will be, XFlow isn't going to pick that. They do pick away Nunu though, which is interesting. But I would assume SMU just pick Kog'Maw here and they run back this bot lane because that's how that's going to go. But now I don't know what they're going to pick in the jungle. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options open to them. They can sort of wait and see what they want to play. Now you're looking into what I would assume is a Shen top, Nunu jungle, and Ashe, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, that's a lot of CC. What can I do to be able to prevent being locked down and not able to play the game? Immediately, what jumps to mind to me is Olaf. He can sort of transition your Kog'Maw from earlier game into the later game. Another option to be able to prey on this Ashe who's super mobile. You can also go Jarvan, who is pretty good into these immobile AD carries, especially Nunu as well. That ball really doesn't do a lot of work when you can only travel 2 feet with it from one side of Cataclysm to the other. We will see what SMU do want to pick up though. They ban away the Katarina, or at least hovering at the Katarina. They do actually ban it away. Skarner banned away from Ewok. No more big Scorpion man on the top side.
For sure. I find it so funny they're banning that, to be honest. It's crazy. I mean, the bans against SMU when you're taking their picks seriously are... I feel like I'm going insane, Necrox. I mean, look at them. Look at these bans. What's happening? And what's happening is the Shadow Mustangs are happening. Soraka going to be banned away from XFlow here, but they're running back Ashe for the 3rd time in the series here as we go into game 3. What the support will be, I don't think we know yet, but part of me, and I had this thought in game 2, is XFlow picking Shen as their first pick to get it away from the Kog'Maw comp, because Shen is fantastic in a hyper carry comp, right? It's way harder to dive Kog'Maw when the threat of the Stand United is up there. So I'm actually wondering how much Shen Lemon actually plays, because if the answer is not a lot, this might not be a good pick for them. Of course, he did lose lane to Skarner game 1, so that's kind of what leads me to believe maybe this isn't like a solid pick for him. But that Skarner isn't going to be there anymore. We'll see how he does this game.
I don't know about this Morgana pick, Axe. We're picking Morgana into Lulu, who does not care about your Black Shield, nor does Kog'Maw. Neither of them rely on crowd control to be effective. I mean, yes, you are picking into Annie. Like, yes, if you can Black Shield Annie, her stun, then you have done an incredible amount of work and, basically make her champion irrelevant. Tell me this is Tom Kemp's top side.
So I think what Ewok does is he just looks up the a top lane tier list, goes straight to the bottom, takes those 5 champions and says, this is what I'm going to main. Because this is probably like the 4th worst top laner in the game, right? Is that fair? I don't know. I don't want to flame any Tom Kench mains in the chat or anything like that. But, I mean, you're talking like what are they banning away from here? Gragas, Skarner, Mordekaiser is actually a very good top laner, so I shouldn't say that. But, yeah, now Tom Kench is the answer here. That's crazy. Ooh, Yone. Ooh.
Spicy.
And, God, these drafts have been so good. Wokian picking up Olaf, just like you said, by the way. And, of course, I always agree with a good Olaf pick. I think it makes a lot of sense here. I mean, the major theme of XFlow's comp, and there are a lot of themes here, but the biggest one is probably CC. I mean, everybody's got to form a hard CC on this team. Some of them have like 2, 3, or 4. Well, actually, we'll keep it to 2 or 3. We'll keep it conservative there. And, yeah, that's wild, right? You want to have someone to be able to deal with this, and Olaf is the perfect guy for the job. So This is a fantastic comp from SMU. I feel like they really found the energy that they were going for in game one, and I think they're going to run it back. XFlow, this is a dangerous comp, man. Oh man, there's so much damage in this comp, and the dive that they were going for in game one is very much alive, but it's got even more CC and even more damage now.
Yeah, it's okay. So I want to talk about this Morgana pick before we get into overall draft pictures. Typically Morgana is you see a Nautilus, you're like, okay, let me play Morgana, right? Easy, just Black Shield hook. Thresh, same thing. Blitzcrank, champions like that. Lulu and Kog'Maw do really not care about your Black Shield very much. The only thing that you're Black Shielding basically is some of the Kog'Maw ult damage, which is AP based, and then Lulu slows. That's basically all the value you're going to get on the bot side. The big upside is the hard CC, right? You have binding into arrow. At level 6, you're basically going to force this Kog'Maw to take cleanse, because if not, you're relying on wild growth to be enough to get you out, which I'm not sure it is, especially if Nunu's rolling up into your lane. So I'm not sure that Kog'Maw will have the option to go heal or bury or something like this game, so that's good. I just don't think Morgana was a pick. I would have liked to see something that outscales Lulu. Maybe Senna, maybe something, like another Enchanter or something like Nami or anything like that. But now that we're looking at Morgana, you have to wonder, is she going to be effective? Can she get, actually useful Black Shields off against Annie and maybe even Tahm Kench stuns? But that's all she wrote for this Morgana. Of course, bindings are powerful, but I don't know about Cobalt or Morgana this game. To me, as a bot laner, that just doesn't make too much sense.
Certainly, I mean, there's a lot wrong with this pick, right? There's no hooks you're trying to block or anything like that. The targets you have for Black Shielding either have an Enchanter behind them that it's going to be shielding them through the ordeal, or is just a Lulu, and like, what are we doing now, right? We're getting eaten alive by Kog'Maw, and that's not working. But the Black Shield also blocks damage, so I mean, it blocks ability damage, excuse me. So that, it's going to provide a little bit of help for them there, because Kog'Maw does do a lot of damage with their abilities, more so than most bot laners anyway. So that's going to be helping a little bit. Black Shield and things like Undertows from Olaf, stuns from Annie, all this stuff is going to be pretty good. Getting swallowed by Tahm Kench somehow is going to be something you could block with Black Shield. But by and large, kind of a weird pick, especially with Ashe, right? I mean, with Ashe, you're going for things that want to play in the early game, things you want to like just sling spells down lane, like your Karmas, your Fel causes, or something that can really just play into Ashe's utility and play into that late game, like you mentioned, the Soraka, the Nami. So this is pretty strange. But once again, we see XFlow with this adaptation doubling down the late game. Now, instead of Akali, they have Yone. They're back on Shen, which is going to be very good for them since they have these big carries. And it's just a lot bigger of a late game comp than it has been. And that's what has led to success for XFlow in the past. Now, the biggest thing I think here in Necrox is from SMU, I need to see Woken play around the bot lane. I mean, Kog'Maw Lulu has been this team's saving grace every stage of the series. I mean, they only won game 1 because of the Kog'Maw Lulu. They didn't have it in game 2. They straight up lost. So I feel like you have to play around bot lane if you want to win this one. Yeah,
and I have gotten word now, thank you to a little bit of people behind the scenes now telling me that Polymorph is something else you could Black Shield. Lulu ult is also an option. I don't want to beat too much on that subject, but moving away from that, yeah, you're going to have to get Kog'Maw pretty big this game. Again, you have this sort of support crew built around him. You even have a Tahm Kench now, which literally is the support which we are putting in the top lane. Like comparable to putting Janna top side, who is on the other end of the spectrum of supports, right? You're going to go this Enchanter, and now you're going to go a full-on tank that has peel for your hyper carry. Annie, again, we saw a pretty peel-based Annie last game, unless we were looking for picks. Olaf is the only thing different this time around. We actually have this early game jungler to transition us into the late game. First game, we saw Nunu, which is, yeah, sure, an early game jungler, but I like Olaf more in this instance because now you have some map pressure. You have a lot of objective control. Yes, Nunu applies that same thing. When these small skirmishes begin to break out, this is a big threat to look at. With that
Yeah,
being
absolutely.
said, yeah, any final thoughts on this draft, Axeman?
No, that was it for me. I'm excited to get into the game.
Yeah, we'll see how this game plays out. Game number 3 between SMU and XFlow in week number 2 in Style Esports as we will load up into Summoner Drift. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Hello, hello, and for the final time between Shadow Mustangs Unleashed versus XFlow Esports, game number 3, Silver Scrapes, and we already got some action going on. Rue in a little bit of trouble now. One more tongue lick. Where's the stun? Rue's in trouble. What is that? Merlin, first blood. Don't even have time to do the introductions. Screw the formalities. We're already getting deep into the game. SMU pick up first blood less than a minute in.
You'll love to see it in game 3 too, right? Just a hyper aggression. Normally game 3 starts super slow, nobody wanting to give away anything. Nope, not SMU. They're all in from the start, and it gets them an advantage here, at least in the mid lane anyway. But with assists going to Wokian and Ewok too, yeah, I mean that's a pretty big advantage. Merlin going to be cheating back to the shop, picking up the second Doran's ring, and really forcing this advantage home. Hopefully they can build a CS lead off of this, because they haven't really had one yet in the series so far.
Yeah, and this should give Merlin the power that he needs to absolutely roll over Rue in this lane. Not only did Merlin get the first blood credit, get that extra Doran's ring, Rue, lost a little bit of pressure early on, having to come back to the lane on Merlin's terms. So I'm not even gonna cast what's happening in bot lane. We're gonna ignore Slick Drake for now. I'm sure that conversation will be had later. But Merlin, picking up that Doran's ring, really gonna put this pressure on Rue now on the mid lane.
Wow. And
see what we can do is we get a little bit of a demonstration of what our production crew calls the most boring and obnoxious top laner in the game, that is Tahm Kench.
Yeah, it's pretty obnoxious, I'll say that anyway. By the way, I don't know if we actually saw on the loading screen or what happened, but Lemon has 1.2 million mastery points on Shen. So this isn't like a bad Shen or anything. Ewok is just this good on the champions he's playing top lane. That shall remain unnamed for my sanity. It's just wild. I mean, he's winning trades from the get-go here. We'll see if he can keep it up, but my gut would say probably, yeah. But that is why they keep going back to Shen. It wasn't to take it away from SMU or anything like that. It's just because Lemon is probably the world's best Shen, I'll go ahead and say.
Yeah, NA's #1. You heard it here first. We'll see what NA's best can do. Or world's best, but we're going to get a lane gank onto Slick Drake. If the flash is forced, that's really big. A great point-blank binding. Going to secure that one. Slick Drake not even using either summoner. Green Ninja's forced to flash away. That's an early kill onto Prey on this Ashe.
Yeah, I think you probably flash heal there. I think that might save his life. Now, it's a little squirrely. I'm not going to say it's a done deal or a sure thing or anything like that, but that probably gets you out of that situation. And I think it's worth using those summoner spells to get you to that place. But, he doesn't, so it doesn't matter now. Rue looking to back off. Woken with the transition gank up in the top side. Looking to punish Rainy for that positioning. And he really already has in a lot of ways. Take a look at the CS lead in the jungle. It's already pretty good. But for the first time in the series, it is SMU that CS leads in more than one position.
Yeah, SMU actually last hitting minions. That's probably our new meme, is two things that don't belong in the same sentence. And Ewok taking a little bit of damage there. Lemon finding the better of these grasp trades. Always love to see top laners trading grasp for grasp. It's really just the most entertaining gameplay any caster could ever ask for. As, speaking of entertaining gameplay, we actually have Yone in this game, which we haven't had too much time to talk about. He's already gone to the gray screen once due to that little first blood shenanigans, but Rue is playing Yone this time around. Akali banned away by SMU, so he's opted for this Yasuo 2.0, whatever you want to call it, but I'm excited to see what Rue can do on this flashy champion.
I am too. We talked a little bit about the late game scaling, and Rue is still very much in the running for that. Obviously, he got set a little bit behind off the get-go. We can check individual gold. Yeah, he's only 300 gold behind. Nothing crazy, right? I mean, especially not at 5 minutes for a scaling champion, so he's got plenty of time to make it back. Green just might be dead here. No, there's no binding up. Never mind. If there's a binding up, I think he might be dead, but gets out of there, makes it to the safety of the wave. First dragon has spawned. It's an ocean dragon. Both junglers are going to be on top of it momentarily. Oh no, Rainy turns off for Gromp. That's going to mean Dragon goes down to Wokian here as Olaf takes it in record time, man. And first Dragon, Ocean, that's huge. It's huge for Tom Kench mostly, right? Take a look at all the regen he's going to be getting off of this one. I don't think Lemon can actually win lane after this.
Yeah, and you're talking about how big that is for Tom Kench. Not only does it synergize well with his kit, his thick skin actually allows some regen there, but on top of that, now he's going to be able to sit in lane longer with that Ocean Drake. But Kog'Maw and Lulu, champions who want to sit in lane and farm up. Annie is probably the worst of all of these champions to receive it, but even then, you're not saying, oh no, I have to deal with an Ocean first Drake. Every one of these members in SMU is going to be able to sit in lane for a little longer. That's ever critical when you're playing around a Kog'Maw who wants to sit in lane, CS, farm up, and become that late game carry, and now he's a little easier on doing that. And topside trades are looking at every Ewok favor that's run there. What is this looking like? This is abusive. Someone call PETAs. This is animal abuse. Lemon turns it right back around onto the catfish. You gotta see that one coming. And Ewok maybe a little too aggressive on the top side.
The shield, man, that was so wild. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you said it. You gotta see that one coming. But it just doesn't see it at the end of the day. Now it's Rainy down the bot side, looking for the long con gank, and I gotta say, few things are creepier than Nunu's eyes when he's standing in a bush. I don't know what it is, man, but Willem's got some pretty creepy looking eyes. The light effects on it don't diminish in the fog of war; they stay super bright. So yeah, it's real creepy. But seeing if we can get a shot of that at some point in this game, it's super weird. But yep, Wokian taking up the top side scuttle, rounding out his CS lead to a little under 20. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that's I mean, the CS lead is pretty nice here, but I mean, it's a big CS lead across the board from SMU. There's the flash stun, and here we go. Rue maybe in a little bit of trouble. It's a great fate steal. The undertow doesn't land. TP in, I believe no, was it canceled? I'm not sure. Look at the bot side now. The black shield's there for Prey. We were talking about how it doesn't provide too much value. The heal is actually burned by Slick Drake at the end of the day. So they win at that skirmish for now, but both these AD carries are so low. That means blood is in the water. You can only wait to see these junglers start pathing towards bot side to try to make a play happen.
So direct-to-camera cut away just as the axe hit, but the axe actually landed, and the reason it didn't kill Rue was because Lemon uses Stand United on it at the last second. So that was that teleport you saw channeling as direct-to-camera cutaway, was Lemon arriving on top of Rue. And Wokian actually made it out of the situation too. It was just a really, really solid Stand United, man. If he hadn't used that, the axe would have killed him, like 100%. So, yeah, tight margins for error here. Ewok swallows Lemon.
Swallows him up in the belly. Lemon's in trouble now. The taunt goes forward. Doesn't get the aggro on the Ewok. No damage burning there. Bommy Cinder, I believe, not actually tanking onto Lemon, so... Excuse me, ticking onto Lemon, so Ewok not taking tower aggro. The trade could have been a lot worse for Ewok if that were the case, but gets away just barely. Really scary in this topside 1v1. Such a volatile matchup, even though I thought this was going to be, just a grasp proc trading lane. These guys have been going at it.
Yeah, grass does a considerable amount of damage when you're proccing on cooldown. And when you're
What are you,
getting...
a top laner?
Yeah, right? I hope
damage,
not.
guys, I swear.
Definitely. It's a big damage ability for the resolve tree. No, it just does a little bit, especially when you're trading them back and forth. It's not like a big deal. It's essentially saying, like, every time we grasp proc each other. Ooh,
there's the arrow, and here we go. Wokian's gonna try to get in, but the point-blank arrow doesn't have the CC timing. But guess what does? The soul shackles from Cobalt. Black shield on the way away. Here we go. Here's the all-in from Rue. There's the flashy plays. There's the soul's reach. Can he get it? The E execution damage just isn't enough. The potions were ticking for Mur. Gets away with this.
Here's Wokian!
Oh, here we go. Olaf, the big man with the axe, has arrived. Rue trying to get away, but he has taken the wrong path, my friend. Gotta be sentenced to death this time around. Trying to get an execute. That's not quick enough, though, Rue. I believe you're still going to go down. They don't even chase him. The man lives.
Yeah, he lives. I'm seeing if he's going to execute here. No, he's going to walk out. Wow, that's pretty wild. Yeah, I was
That
not
is
expecting
big.
that at all. Yeah, Dragon actually spawning here in just a few seconds as Cobalt is caught out. Has the black shield though, so.
Oh, exhaust used onto Morgana. Green Ninja's trying to maybe make a play for the rest of the squad to roll on up. But the binding from Cobalt is fantastic. Do they have the CC to lock this Lulu down? No, they do not. But the damage is there from Woki, and he's not going to be stopped yet. He goes unstoppable into Ragnarok. The undertow, not even sure if it hit, but something ticked down damage-wise. Rue is here with that execute. Damage going to hop back. The Wild Growth is there. Lemon's in trouble with the Stand United trying to hop in, but it's turned right back around by SMU. Double kill to the Olaf. He goes big in the team fight. Even has the Rift Herald in hand. Everything comes up SMU favored. This is game number 3, and it's this damn close.
It's so close here, Necrox. This is for all the marbles, too. So SMU making a play like this is absolutely massive to get back into the game. Now they're 2K in the lead with 2 Dragons over XFlow's none, and that is a fantastic place to be in for this comp, right? You're looking for the late game scaling onto Kog'Maw, but having this good of an early game means you can effectively snowball. Taunt's gonna miss on Ewok. That's huge. I don't think you can catch him anymore.
Yeah, no way.
He's doing a lot of damage.
Go there with the flag. Ewok maybe a little bit of trouble. Where's the thick skin? Not even opting to proc the stuns on to Lemon, so that's not going to be very well fought there. The Rift Herald is popped, gets the flash on the top side, but some plating will go down. A little bit more gold into Myrrh and Wokian's hands. Don't mind me if I do. And they get a little more gold there. And yeah, you were talking about the gold lead. They have Drake lead, they have gold lead. Everything's looking good for SMU. Even the ult onto the mid lane as Rue's trying to turn back onto the Olaf. No Ragnarok available, gonna come up just now. Finally pops it. There goes the Unstoppable. A lot of damage from Rainy with that ultimate on the Nunu. Blizzard not able to do enough this time around. Rainy gets away, Wokian gets away, everyone escapes with their lives. No blood spilled in mid.
Yeah, Rainy drops the smite there onto Wokian, ensuring that he does a little bit of true damage on top of his ult as well. It's less than 100, but I mean, when your ult does several hundred damage, doing like 60 extra really puts a little bit of oomph into it there. So
here they go. They're going to try to kite forward. Heal immediately used to try to get right back away. Lemon's in a lot of trouble now. Stunned up, spit back out. What is that? They traded 1-for-1. Ewok,
what is
I'm
happening?
not sure about that one, my friend, but all right. Lemon trades it 1-for-1 in a 1v3. That's not too bad for him.
Yeah, I guess that's all things considered. I don't want to say that was good for anybody. I think that was bad for us all collectively. We might need group therapy after that one. But Binding gonna miss Slick Drake. The tier 2 boots coming in clutch form there, but it has delayed his Bork a little bit. So we'll see if it. Oh my! Are they gonna run down Cobalt again? There's no way.
Oh no, the Binding's there. Ooh, it's so scary, right? When Kog'Maw pops that arcane, or Bio Barrage or whatever it is W, oh, you know the fight's on, right? Because that's his big ability. That's what he wants to use to dish out the DPS. So he pops that, and you're like, okay, what is he going to do next? And Kobo was a little too close there for comfort. But the Binding lands well onto Green Ninjas. Loses actually a lot of his health bar. His Fiendish Codex is already in for this Morgana. And sneaky little top side look there, but it'll be just some wards clear for now. It's right back to a lull state. Just kidding. Ewok's throwing down some tongues. Where the slow, but the taunt should get him away. No problem. That flag's there for a little bit of safety. Right back to a lull state, though, between these two teams.
Definitely. And those of us who have been with the game long enough remember a time when Tom Kench's tongue would have procced the passive there, but no longer. I can't remember when that was changed, but it was a pretty long time ago now. But it's a crying shame here, Necrox, and Ewok is soldiering on without that anyway, and also soldiering on is Wokian, soloing this Rift Herald, making use of their CS lead. And what I mean by that is when you solo an objective, normally you're going to be falling behind in CS as the enemy jungle is going to continue clearing camps or going for ganks and stuff like that. So it's kind of a sink for you a little bit because you don't get too much XP or gold or anything off of objectives. You just kind of get stats. Oh, no.
They got baited just a little bit longer, and Slick Drake may have been able to avoid that one. Wild Growth, no way that's going to be enough. Under tower they go. Blizzard's there. Green Ninjas versus the world. They actually end up giving one back. Slick Drake gets one to the turret. That, I'm pretty sure 99% of that damage was actually the turret, but meanwhile in the mid lane, it is the Herald that goes down. Turret should go down as well, and yeah, you get a couple kills, but a lot of map pressure lost in mid. I'm not even sure if that's worth.
I mean, 3 turrets. They lost 3 turrets. That's not worth. There's no way. There's no way that's worth. But Lemon up here, yeah, he's going to be walking out of that one. It's just a little poke. Merlin doesn't have too much mana, but yeah, there's no way that's worth. You lose your entire mid lane, top lane turret up there, and you don't even get bot turret. You just go 2 for 1. That's not true. There's no way in heck is that ever worth. Now, if they pick up Dragon here and they do get map pressure off of this play, kinda. I mean, they don't have a mid lane anymore, right? So, you know, we're talking about map pressure here. What do you really have? They do have bodies in the area, though, and they have visions set up on their side of the jungle. So they have a base that they can contest Dragon for. We'll see if they're able to use it. Slick Drake, not in like a huge position. They completed Bork. So is Prey, though. He has both summoner spells. He actually retained those after that gank. So I think it's really good he held on to those. Woken instantly in on a Cobalt.
There we go. There's the picks onto Woken. Gonna go unstoppable with the Ragnarok. Force the flash away. Cobalt instantly deleted by the tongue of Tom Kench. Rue trying to find himself away, but the slows from Woken are in. Flash away from Rue. Woken doesn't have his flash to follow. Ewok will show up and say, "What's up?" But it dips out on the back end of the fight, and that's a big pick there on the Cobalt, is now they get Soul Point. SMU picking up this Infernal Drake, and Infernal Soul is no joke.
So yeah, Woken probably picks up the kill on Rue if he uses the economy of axes a little bit better, but kind of overthrows them a couple times and it loses him the kill. That said, he's got 3 dragons. He's 2-1-3. I'm not going to flame the guy too hard. He's doing just fine. Down the bot lane, they're going to be picking up this outer turret. I think they get the turret. I don't know if they die for it or not. I think they might. They do have a turret to run back to, but Enchanted Crystal Arrow is up. They don't have anything to block it. Yeah, I think they're going to die for this turret.
Here they go. Slick Drake's in trouble. Can't even flash away. The sun is there. They're going to try to trade one back. Slick Drake not able to do it. Cobalt snipes them with the binding beyond the minion wave. Cathian Surprise won't be enough. Where's the binding from Cobalt? Can they find another? No, the speed is there from Green Ninja's Prey was so low on the back end of that fight. You can see what Slick Drake was trying to do. Just trade one back. It would have been worth if they can find one there onto the Kog'Maw, but they can't. It's 2 and 3 now for Slick Drake. This is a relatively similar situation for what we saw in game number 1, where this Kog'Maw was getting kills, dying quite a lot, but all of a sudden at 35 minutes, he turned on, and the game was over.
Definitely, it's a very similar, right? I mean, he's got like kind of an even, a middling kill score. He's keeping up in CS, actually out CSing, like just edging out Prey a little bit there. So yeah, it's a very similar situation. The difference is this time around, Woken is a competent source of damage for their team, and it's a ton of burst damage. He can run Yone down. This Yone doesn't have a shroud like the Akali did, so there's a lot of room to be able to run down carries because they don't just, disappear into the void. You're missing Impale on the top side, but Ewok is making a very good argument for Tom Kench over Skarner right now. And I mean, the biggest thing really is the CS leads. I mean, they're almost non-existent in the mid lane. They're 20 up, SMU is in the top lane, and 30 up in the jungle position. That's not things that we were seeing in game 1. Remember, they were behind in gold in game 1. They were just winning because of the scaling that Slick Drake had.
I'm not sure if that blue buff was actually meant to be passed off to Mur, but regardless, it is on Woken. I mean, he's pretty dang strong at this point in the game. Good binding there to stop the engage from Mur. The flash stun is always there, but meanwhile, Ewok's found his way in. That's the flash forward from Woken before the fight even starts. Cobalt certainly dead to rights after these soul shackles go away. Slick Drake picks up one, and it's mispositioned, and a great use of Abyssal Voyage. I think that's the first time I've actually ever said that, as Ewok brings the Goon Squad in and rolls that kill onto Cobalt, who's picked out once again.
Competent pick tool if you can use it correctly, but using it correctly involves, I don't know, making a deal with some eldritch being. I've never used it correctly. I don't think I know anybody who has, but now it is Woken and crew onto Baron. Can they take it? It's pretty early, but they got a lot of sustained damage here. Let's see if they can make it happen. Every single member of XFlow is up right now.
Wokian's going to be the one tanking this. That's not really what you want. You want Ewok to be the one brooding the force of this Baron. 5k on it now. Rainy, remember the Consume Smite is so big. If they don't clear the ward, they finally do. Lemon may be in trouble, forced to taunt away. Flash not over the wall, only under his lane pressure. Wild Growth is there. They turn away from the Baron. May be dissuaded for now. Lemon goes down, but that's probably fine. They get them off the Baron, and they only lose one for it. It's only 300 gold and a little bit of XP going the favor of SMU. In return, we're getting them off the Baron. They're not done fighting just quite yet. Fate Sealed gonna go forward, uses the Q3, taking him back to his soul unbound. There we go, the TP's committed by Myrrh. Where's that Tibbers? Cobalt throws one binding, the Acapian Rain's coming down. Wokian's getting the slows, gets the blue smite. Goes a little bit hard onto the Morgana, who just flashed for no reason. But yeah, we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she thought she could get away from that one, but 10-7 now. SMU are looking in a way more favorable position this time around.
For sure, yeah. They're about to pick up the Dragon Soul. Game 1, they actually gave up 2 dragons before getting that soul, so SMU having a more dominant game than they did in Game 1, and that does not bode well for XFlow, right? I mean, it doesn't seem like the Yone has been a good adaptation. The Nunu as well seems to not be working as well for XFlow as it did for SMU, so maybe these were mistakes in draft, but now it's SMU looking for the Death Bush, and they have a lot of tools to make this happen. I don't think Rainy saw Wokian there, so I think they're still good. Oh, this is a dead Nunu right here.
Uh-oh. They're actually fighting on 2 fronts, so they're gonna have to choose one to go for. They choose the Morgana. The Black Shield is not in time. Caught out by surprise. Yeah, they're gonna try to go for both here. They get in front of that snowball and she's dead. No, they don't get in front of it this time. Flash away. And they get away from that one just barely, but they get a pick onto Cobalt. Didn't have the hot fingers to try to pick up that Black Shield, and just like that, Axe, it's Infernal Soul for SMU on a Cog Maw.
Yeah, that's pretty scary, right? It's not what you like to see. Teleport expended to try and block the push there from Lemon. I don't really agree with the use of the teleport there, but SMU are pretty far in the head. Pretty far ahead in the lead right now, so they're probably fine to do that. But yeah, this Pug, man, this is a big Kog'Maw. Take a look at the gold he has in hand. Yeah, 1,200 right now. And that will be enough to complete Runin's Hurricane? No, Rageblade, I believe, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, they back, pick up the Rageblade, and they're off once again. 2-item Kog'Maw to 1.5-item Ashe. I'll take the Kog'Maw every day.
Yeah, so will I, right? I mean, the only way Prey outperforms this Kog'Maw in a team fight is by landing the arrow on the Kog'Maw, right? Slick Drake needs to be hit with that enchanted crystal arrow in order for Prey to outperform, and that's so hard to do when you're dealing with Ewok in your face. Wokian, who's running around, can't be stopped by anything. And here we go, Abyssal Voyage gonna find Cobalt one more time. This man has been caught out twice or 3 times this game already. Leave him alone. Exhaust on him to make sure he can't get away. Black Shield all he wants. But they're gonna roll up, and they find another kill onto Cobalt. And Baron is alive. It always seems to be when these picks go down. There's a major objective on the board, and Ewok will start it up with that big old tongue of his.
He definitely will. Wokian, with the Infernal Dragon in tow, the Infernal Soul, excuse me, is just going to be rushing down this Baron. Now, Rainy is here. He has no way over the wall, though. But if he can get over there, he's got Smite Consume, and he could steal this. But, yeah, there's just nothing he can do. Actually, it's Polymorph, so, yeah, there's nothing there. Unfortunate, but you know, without Flash, without the Blast Cone, you just can't contest that. But looking for it anyway. It's an admirable shot there. Now it's Baron on SMU. They're walking down mid. See what they can make happen here.
Yeah, and that's actually a little risky by SMU. Unless they know that Rainy has no Flash, they should have someone zoning, like Ewok or even Myrrh on the end of that Baron Pit, around that Baron Pit rather, trying to make sure Rainy can't Flash Consume Smite over the wall, because that's basically a secure Baron, if he does, and has a control ward there to get the vision to tick down the HP numbers. But In the end, they do get it. It's, no way over the wall for Rainy. So Baron now in the hands of this Kog'Maw. Infernal now in the hands of this Kog'Maw. 2 items. I mean, everything is looking SMU favored now. Game 3 looking really strong for them. Relatively clean. Yes, it was really close even, but that's all they need in the early game. They just need to keep it close. And then the dirty S word that is scaling begins to kick in. And now they're kicking in the doors of XFlow's face.
Yeah, that's a filthy ass word in this case. Oh man, that inhib just goes straight into the dirt. Unfortunate. Rainy itemizing differently than Wokian had. He's going for the dead man's plate, looking to capitalize on the mobility that Nunu brings to the table. I'm not 100% on this build. I don't necessarily like it here in that you're trying to maximize your mobility. I think it's fine, but a lot of the mobility that you were looking for was supposed to assist you in the early game, right? To get those ganks down to be able to clear the jungle faster. Here in the late game, it's kind of like you're arriving to objectives faster, but I don't know. I mean, some better positioning would have gotten you here anyway. What I do like is that this is a giant spelled item into Cinderhulk. This is a fantastic combo. You're building health into Cinderhulk, which gives you bonus % health. That's fantastic. So I like it in that sense, but yeah, as a mobility item, it's not super great.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about having the protection against Kog'Maw and Wokian and all that damage that comes through, but yeah, I think Deadman's would have been a little more useful if they weren't so far behind, right? Getting that extra movement speed.
Yeah, definitely.
Cobalt, again, a little too far for his britches, has to force the Black Shield. The axe doesn't land for Wokian, and now they just get to free pressure across the map. Ewok in the 1v1 against Zru on the bot side. We were talking about how excited, at least I was, to see this Yone, and there goes the
Cobalt.
flash. Cobalt's in trouble. Wokian's literally just gonna run at him. He doesn't care. And Prey will try to kite his way out. Cobalt's gonna be dead. Wokian will pick up kill credit, and Slick Drake is free firing, basically undeterred the whole time, and yeah, they have absolutely zero way to make this game work for them now. As if you're dying as a 4-man squad under your turret, then it's definitely not looking good. They have to give up another inhib. They're going to have to give up a lot of this space. Ewok looking for the kill on the Rue. The final tongue doesn't land. That may have been the killing blow.
Oh no!
TP is committed, and I think Rue knew it was over. No way that's going to work out for you there, buddy. And Murray even TP's in to try to help his catfish out. It's Fiery Girl and Catfish to the rescue.
Yeah, you just can't use your E as an escape tool. It's just not how it works, because it will bring you back. But Wokian and crew shredding this turret now. They run out of minions, unfortunately. They're going to be backing off. And yeah, I guess XFlow survived to live another day, but here is the next wave.
Yeah, the next day is right now for this crew.
This is a tower defense, like, zombie survival game, and they're desperately trying to defend their last tower. And yeah, it's only a matter of time. Elder Dragon spawning. This is probably one of the last opportunities that XFlow will get to come back in this game. But here is the death blind, I guess. It's not a bush.
Oh, it's a great hawk shot. Smelling it out where it stood. Ewok going to be slowed up, but man, Prey with the MVP hawk shot. That would have been the game-ending fight. Now maybe they can find something onto Ewok. Remember, he's so tanky. Lemon trying to frontline for his team. Gets the flash on forward. Polymorph. Nunu's going to go down. Rainy goes down number 1 in the fight. It's a 2-for-0, making it a 3-for-0. Man, oh man, is this team fight gone to shambles. And you tried. You thought you had a chance. There was something you could do against Kog'Maw, against Slick Drake, and Wokian, but you can do nothing, as Ewok will 1v2 your 80 carry-in mid laner. The Tom Kench is the king of this map. Merlin picks up kill credit. What a hashtag KS from him. But they'll end the game now. Nexus turret number 1 and 2 both gonna go down. SMU take this one in game number 3. And what a game and what a series it was.
I guess Tom Kench is the best top lane in the game. I guess that's just how this is going now. Elder Dragon picked up here as Merlin's going to have... Yeah, there goes the Nexus. That was really... I mean, this is what I was talking about. Wokian, you play around bot side. Like, come on, man. It's almost free. Like, that was so dominant, right? At every stage of this game. Also, I think if Woking can play Olaf like that, don't play Nunu. The Nunu was good, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we gotta get Slick Drake in here. What do you think?
I think Slick Drake on this Kog'Maw was absolutely incredible. If that's your vote, I'm right there with you, X-Man.
All right, we'll see if we can move him in here in just a little bit, but yeah, top to bottom, that was wild. That was, if we can look at the Kog'Maw numbers again, I'm sure they're not going to be as big. Yeah, it was 12,000 in 30 minutes, but I really woke you in the start of the show. 18,000 damage in that 30-minute game, and I think one of the things maybe we didn't talk about as much was that while game one was really about just like the individual performance of Slick Drake trying to get ahead, trying to carry the team, and everybody else just trying to support him, I guess, with the different champions, with the Skarner, with the Annie. This game was about everybody's success, right? Everybody played across the board just so well. I don't think they lost the lane anywhere. I'll call you back to the play where they took 3 turrets while Slick Drake got dove on. That was one of the better plays I've seen in this league, right, as far as trades go, and they just executed almost perfectly. But I think we have to move voice chat rooms to be able to talk.
I believe we do, to get our interview. So we'll be right back as we set up our interview with that Kog'Maw from game 1 and game 3. We won't talk about game 2. Don't worry about that. But yeah, we'll be right back with this interview.
Claire, why did you lose?
All right, well, we are on air, so that is a lovely start. And we're gonna go ahead and jump right in, as obviously we have two people here now. This will be an interesting little session.
Wait, what's happening?
We are live on air. Hey. So welcome everyone. We are here with our little interview session. This is not what Axeman and I expected. Just kidding. There's only one person now. We are here with Green Ninjas, the support from SMU on that fancy Lulu that we got to see. I really have one question for you, and then I'll throw it over to Axe. How are you feeling off of this big 3-game series win?
I mean, it's great. Every single win is just, it's a rush, and playing competitively, it's all of my teammates. We just love it.
That's good to hear. Axeman, you can take it away, my friend.
All right, so game one, you second pick Lulu here and just straight into the Kog'Maw. I know you guys play Kog'Maw Lulu a lot. I mean, you did it all last season, and it seems something y'all are really comfortable with. Is this something that you build drafts around, or is it just kind of the way drafts come out?
Yeah, right now I don't want to give out too much, but it is one of our power picks at the moment, and usually we usually start to. Previously, we drafted around top and jungle, but now we're leaning more towards the bot lane. And so, yeah, Lulu Kog'Maw has been one of our top picks for SMU.
Yeah, hard agree. Like, I think y'all are probably the only team in this league that can win with this lane. And it's not just like it sometimes happens. It's like, if you guys win games, it's through your bot lane, and it's through this bot lane, through Kog'Maw Lulu, which is insane to me. I mean, we saw you kind of get a freebie in game one, right? It seemed like XFlow weren't really prepared for this lane. They dealt with it admirably with the dives, with the stand united onto Hecarim after that, but it just wasn't enough. Do you think you're going to be able to get away with Lulu Kog'Maw very much longer? Because I feel like people are going to figure it out and like play around it.
Yeah, most other teams usually catch up on it, but they're more threatened by the Lulu. And so in our past few games against other teams, they've been constantly first banning the Lulu out, and then we'd move on to other power picks. But nobody has really... Because once they ban off the Lulu, we kind of start leaning towards different synergy, like different bot lane comps with other power picks. But yeah, most other teams have definitely caught up on this. But this team, we got lucky with the Lulu, because usually it's banned off in the first half. Yeah.
Definitely. And that's something we talked about all series long, was just like, what do you ban against SMU? I mean, the bans like in first game were Zyra, Gragas, Malzahar, Veigar, and Mordecai. So like, what a cast of characters and champions that are normally non-issues that XFlow decided to ban away from you here. And yeah, I can't imagine throwing in like Lulu and Kog'Maw of all things. Like, what an insane draft that would be to throw those two characters into the ban. But yeah, no, this was just wild top to bottom. But what else do you have for us in the bot lane? Because I don't think we saw you on something other than Kog'Maw Lulu. I think you played something different in the second game, but it's been a while.
Yeah, second game we picked... Yeah. Yes, that's correct. We picked Jinx Soraka. We built that bot lane purely around my Soraka pick, because my Soraka is my... highest mastery. It's the support I'm most proficient with, and having a hard scaling team that tags along with it, and with me on the backside healing everybody while nobody touches me, because I have a nice good jungle and top lane front line, it's usually untouchable, but Lulu Kog'Maw is definitely one of our stronger picks, so we went back to it in the third game.
Yeah, I don't blame you for doing that. It was very strong. But thank you so much for doing the interview. We appreciate your time as always. Do you have any shout outs for us here?
Honestly, just to my team. I mean, without the the support from the jungle, and then the utility from the mid lane, and then the constant peel from the Tom Kench and the top lane. It's just, I mean, it's a team-based game, so obviously I'm going to have to shout out to my team and, all the support that we get during the games.
True enough. It is a team game, and you can't do it without the team. But with that, I'll kick it back to you for the outro here, Necrox.
Yeah, absolutely right. Team game and indeed. And the better team won tonight as SMU take down XFlow Esports in a fantastic series, 2-1. Only week 2 here in Style Esports Demacia group. The series plural, and the weeks, the playoffs, it all only gets more hype from here. Make sure to stay tuned to Style as we got action coming at you all the time throughout the week. With that being said, it's a good night from me, Necrox, your play-by-play host, and everyone, make sure to have a good one.